Unlisted
Okay,
right
now
now.
I'm streaming. Da ba da ba da da ba da ba da. Da ba da doo
Hello, how are
da.
you doing? I'm talking as well,
You are
and I'll be talking over him. I'm just kidding.
sure, Mr. Informative. How's it sound then? Are we speaking? Are we not speaking? If we were speaking,
You're a little quiet,
I'm a
but
little
you're quieter,
quiet.
you're quieter than I am for some reason, so I don't know.
That tends to happen. I don't know why. Okay, let
Saying I'm
me.
a loudmouth?
No. Okay, that's a decibel or two louder just by the settings. That should be a thing. Da ba da ba da 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 ba ba da. I'm talking now. What about you? Why aren't you talking?
You just Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Well, that I pressed a button. I was confused. I clicked the button.
Yay! We are live.
Although, did you notice that I did a stream the other day, or we did, and it didn't start until like the 11-minute mark. We already passed all of our awkward intro into just you mentioning how Sylvia was just coming back. It's like, oh wow, that's all the awkwardness skipped, which is kind of good because we're like, talk to us. Oh,
Really?
that's a good thumbnail. Nice. Mentioning how Sylvia was just coming.
I know, right? I'm a genius, man.
Genius. Okay,
So
now I
we're
gotta
just
do
gonna
the
wait for people to populate here.
sherry. And I
That
wonder,
helps as well.
and I wonder if we'll have different views than on a Sunday, which is our normal live streamy day, but we can't because I'm in London all that.
You're gonna be in London with me?
The proper London though.
Oh, the big fancy, we're better than everybody else, London.
Yeah, that one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And, yeah.
We got one person watching. I find that remarkably odd.
Hmm. About radical.
It says, hmm. Hmm. I can't hear you now. Did you mute your microphone because you're typing? Okay. So, Lynch85. Hello, everybody. Samuel's typing, and that's why he's got his microphone muted so that we don't hear the.
I type pretty fast.
Yes, sir. So we're just gonna wait for people to populate in. So we're just gonna shoot the shit and hang
Should you
out for a little
email
bit.
Mecha Random so she can appear?
Well, I posted it on Twitter, and she's usually right on top of things. So if she
Excited.
shows up, she shows up. If not, we can handle it.
Yeah, because I joined her for a live yesterday, and it was like 2:30 in the morning, but I was trying desperately to finish something. She was like, "Oh, it's Captain Foley." I'm like, "No."
No, I'm the least impressive commander. Just kidding.
Well, at least, well, I don't know. I was gonna make a dad joke because, literally 1 minute before I press go, he's meant to be ambassador, and he says, "Oh yeah, well, I'm a captain. Look." How does that affect this joke, this thing that we do? It's like Admiral I thought was funny. I'm not Admiral. I mean
Yeah,
ambassador.
your stream was interesting. Mine was good too. However, yeah. Anyway, so does everybody hear us okay? Because we're trying a new thing this time, as far as setup goes.
We're now on the other monitor, so I can go like whoop, whoop. See,
You can be clever.
Because Skype is a bit of a douche nozzle. Is that a thing over there? Is that an expression?
Yes, yeah.
So instead, I'm literally there we go. I'm literally recording the screen, so I can influence the screen by showing the screen in the screen, or I can like really remove us as a thing. Or I can't make Stuart small though. I can't do that trick anymore, which is sad. That makes me sad. That was funny last time.
That sounds really dirty, but I'm just gonna let that go.
Why, Stuart? Why? But yeah, we've got an interesting topic today.
It says one guy said freezing a bit. That's not good. but somebody else said it seems to be working fine. That's Adam Boots who's here, so thank you, Adam.
Yeah, it's apparently. Oh, that was weird. Apparently, it's
that
freezing.
was funky.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 monitors, so every time I do, I'm sort of swapping between programs a little bit. It does sort of say, well, you know, it can override stuff occasionally.
It's screenception, yes.
It is, yeah. So hi guys, anything?
Hi y'all.
How do you all feel on a lovely Saturday day? What have you been doing today, Stuart?
It's hella hot here.
Okay.
It is so hot and humid, it's not even funny. But yeah, I haven't been doing much. Just went out and picked up some weather stripping and stuff because we got to update the house a little bit now that we got the new furnace and stuff. So we did that. Just hanging out. We're gonna watch Black Panther later tonight, I think, and because Sylvia still hasn't seen that yet. So slightly choppy video, but works. Well, that's not great.
Yeah, to be fair, the CPU thing does say it's a little bit odd. We're at 44% dropped frames. And it's saying red. I'm not doing anything particularly to cause anything. I've got a few programs open, but I wouldn't assume it to cause much of a problem. I guess I'll close all that. I've just closed everything, I guess, but because I don't know what doesn't help a stream, because the internet obviously is one thing, but we've got fast internet.
Neff is saying some occasional stutters, but the audio is fine. Yeah, it's choppy here too. The voice is still fine, so I don't really care. Okay.
Inconsistency, eh?
Yeah, the live stream health is in the yellow, which is not great. It should be green, but...
Yeah, I don't know what it... Maybe I've got the kilobits too high? Can I change that as I go? Oh, maybe I can. Okay, let me lower the video rate to 4,000. Let me do that.
I hope so. Because I'd like everyone to see us clearly.
Oh, I lowered it, and it's staying greener? Okay, has that fixed it, guys? I think it might have. Maybe. I really don't know. And our dropped frames number is going down steadily.
That's good. I mean, could just be YouTube as well. Busy. It's green on my end now. Stream health is good. Anyway, we're not gonna be showing video or anything, so it's all right if we're a little bit stuttery.
Yeah, but yeah. Hi guys. Today I was doing Convergence and Indiegogo work. That was good. Didn't quite get enough done. I was rendering layers for another fan film. I talked to Marie for a bit. I made dinner. Made bolognese.
Sounds yummy.
Yes, I did 2 fried onions. Wow, I just got an ad on the stream. My stream got dropped by an ad. That's interesting. Never had that before. Cool. I just got ad revenue for myself, for us.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Raccoon Media, we're beautiful. Oh, thank you.
Right?
Wasn't really weird.
Oh, speaking of, guys, there's one day left. One day left to pick up your Trekyards pinup shirt.
Do you have an example?
I don't. I do, but they're in the other room. They're all folded up because the one that was here, the sample, has been sent.
Send me the link and I'll literally pull it onto the screen.
I'm putting it in right now.
But I mean, send it to me so I can just
No.
Okay.
There it is, right there. I will send it to you right now too.
Just in case some of you guys in the UK don't know, there is Star Trek stuff in Blackpool Illuminations this year. Okay. So it's Everpress, and just to take over our screen for a second, Everpress, Trekyards, yeah, we go. It's a lady pin-up. And Stuart will see it in a slight delay.
Right?
Can't you just talk about the subject matter? Well,
we can, but we're letting people join in because people are sometimes late to the party, so...
Well, yeah, because if we talk about it in the first 10 minutes and there's only 100 people watching and then we get 300, then they're all going to ask what about the subject matter. So
that happens all the time. We're at like the last 10 minutes of a 2-hour stream.
What did I miss, guys?
Are you going to talk about the thing?
Yeah. So we did. So this is like this.
So we usually go over it a few times during the stream just to kind of get back on track because these always go off track with the super chats, which are super important, guys. If you guys can super chat, that'd be awesome. Ask us anything.
The power of
yeah,
super
they
chat.
do go
We've
off.
got our answer. Yeah.
They do go off the rails somewhat because they're alive, and that's fine. But we try to keep it. We try to start with the subject, mention in the middle, and at least end with it, just so you guys have a.
And people tend to have questions about the subject, so we end up sort of jumping right back into it as well.
So, 100 people here. Expected a little bit more.
Well,
you guys squabble like a married couple. You have no idea, man. No idea. I'll send it through here.
Tish. In person, we're even better. It's great. It's See, that's the problem with Skype. Now you've your because you sent to me on Skype, did you? The link.
Yeah, because Facebook was taking forever to do anything.
And now you'll see it in the stream. There you go. So it just does that sometimes.
Yeah.
So why don't you go through the topic, Stuart, and we'll mention it. How long's the stream been going on? Well, unofficially it says at the bottom, 3 minutes.
So no time at all.
Yeah, we just started.
Okay, so I'll start getting into it. So I don't know if you guys have heard, but Les, what is his name?
Les Moonves.
Yeah, Moonves, who's head of CBS, got basically shit canned because there were some sexual allegations that came out, and then more and more and more, and it's just kind of snowballed. So he's been booted from CBS. They're trying to redirect their whatever the brand they said of the company and have a positive influence. So they're going to donate some of his severance packages and stuff to this Me Too movement. And yes, he did get fired. They haven't really said the word fired though, just that he's left.
Well, there's such a fine line of that because, you know, if stuff happens and you give the option to the person, say, well, we can either fire you or you can quit now. Well, they're firing you, but you're allowed, you know, like Brian Fuller, like, did he leave? Was he fired? Was he thrown out? No, he was fired, but more like let go. But isn't that the same thing as fired? You know, it's all subtle distinctions, but for a guy that ran one of the biggest companies in the world, the telecommunication companies,
Fortune 500, yeah,
to get fired for these allegations is obviously, you know, will really tarnish his future career.
Oh yeah, I think his career's over.
I mean, he's probably a multi-millionaire. So, I mean, he's earning a 700 million, what was it, package? Yeah, multiple $1 million package to leave. So.
Yeah. Now the rumor mill says that
Adam Boots says, yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the rumor mill kind of goes that he wasn't a huge fan of Star Trek, so he could have been some of the reason that some of the things have gone off the rails, and we're not exactly sure, but it'd be interesting to see if anything changes in regards to that. We still have the same people in charge of the show, producer-wise. Namely Alex Kurtzman,
who just signed an amazingly long deal, just this
5 years.
Yeah, and that's a hell of a deal to get out of. But what I want to is just earn his company a ton of money. I mean, he could obviously save it as well, but hey, if what he's doing is working,
yeah,
I think they're having diminishing returns. Because 09 was the big everyone watched it, and then Let's Build Into Darkness, Let's Build Beyond. And if you look at Discovery, the word is that obviously people got subscriptions, but as soon as the show stopped, they the number dive bombed. After the free month, because you had a free month, so you waited till the end. A lot of people, and then suddenly after that was over, people didn't recount. So
yeah,
well, money went down.
Yeah, I think it's I forget what I was going to say. Damn it. That's all right. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out with this. Whether it will have an effect on any of the franchises, because we do have the Picard show coming up eventually. No real word on what's happening with that yet, except that it's happening in $23.99. We have a fixed year for that at least, so that's interesting. It could be a good thing for CBS, absolutely, but yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, guys. I don't know.
Well, I just find it. Oh, sorry. Finish.
I was gonna say I find it funny that he, the way he's going out. It's just poetic justice, I guess. If you're that kind of person, I don't know. I just think it's funny.
Oh, it's one of those things. I think both of us we try and just be good people. So
Hmm.
that wouldn't have even crossed my mind as a person to do. And so this guy, I know power does corrupt, power makes you do things, and I've already took over in 1995, so it wasn't like the 70s when the whole different era. The late mid 90s weren't a big, that wasn't a million miles away from it is today compared to some of those older people.
Hmm.
But it's interesting how this also has bigger implications. We're a Star Trek channel, so we're going to focus on the Star Trek implications because it was reported this guy was the man that cancelled Enterprise because the ratings weren't bad.
No.
And they could have got better, and especially that season was the best of the four. So I mean, and
It's just been a bunch of missteps. I mean, the whole fan film guidelines, kind of squashing the fans, putting Discovery behind a paywall. It just seems like a bunch of stupid, moronic decisions.
it's just a really rubbish 50th anniversary. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
well, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, people say, okay, there's lots of merchandise came out to celebrate it, but look at the Doctor Who 50th anniversary. We had a movie for the fans with three doctors, lots of companions, lots of cool stuff. Really, really good. It's one-day cinema, and lots of other stuff, and a Christmas special, and a part of the show as well. Like, so many good things to really celebrate it. What do we get? Beyond, okay, good, but no show, no, it didn't feel, and
It wasn't special.
it wasn't 50 years worth of specials. Doctor Who one was a good feeling, yeah. And it's interesting. Did you watch the award ceremony that Trek got that Shatner was at and whatever else? They got like a lifetime award, and then Shatner.
No,
accepted it.
I didn't see that. No.
Well, it was nice, although very sort of scripted. But it was weird because they introduced everyone, fine, great, and then they introduced Shatner, and they sort of and coming on stage, and then suddenly got the '09 theme. And I'm like, why is this action-packed fun theme the representation for the 50th anniversary award of Star Trek Legacy, and it's that theme for William Shatner and Sneaker Martin Green? It's like what a tone deaf. I mean, it's a cooler theme in terms of that's cool, but
yeah.
I mean, yes, they did then use a TOSC one as they sort of went off, but it's like, what are they doing? How is that the moment to represent Trek with that? With '09,
well,
people had such poor understanding of the show. Crazy.
Yeah, it seems like the Kelvin universe is kind of taken over. I mean, one of the
as default things, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, look at the uniform or the costuming and Discovery, the sets, even the whole. Ever since 2009, bridge windows are now the new thing.
The default. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, why? Yeah, it's new, but it can be it can be spread out like perfectly. Some ships have it, some ships don't.
Or the smart approach that people like, if you were in the Rick Sternbach day, some stupid executive said, right, has to have a window, and they're like, oh, but okay, and they say, right, cool, it's a wall that goes transparent.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a cool idea.
It's several layers of material as hull, but it's designed that this specific bit goes transparent, so it serves as a window, but isn't actually a window because it's a weak spot. So you got best of both worlds. That would be much cleverer, Then imagine how cool the scene would be in the Matara Nebula, which I just watched today. They say, turn the view to transparent mode. Okay,
that would actually be really cool, yeah.
A bit far away, but we can still see them, Because I said to my mum, it's like people that say, oh, well, ships have windows because the Matara Nebula wouldn't happen. And I said, no, because space is really vast. If this ship is, 7 miles that way, 20 miles, 50 miles that way, it'll be so small you might barely see a blinky. I mean, you look into the sky, a dark sky, and you can barely see the blinkies of a plane. A few miles up. Okay, I guess it's like more miles, but you know what I mean. Space is so vast that almost every single time it's going to be unuseful. Not useful, especially in a big combat situation. You have to be point blank for it to be truly useful. And if you're trying to target torpedoes manually and you're doing a pinprick this big in the non-view screen, no, a view screen is there because it targets and zooms.
Well, yeah, but the people are going to make the argument that the window can do the same thing, and it can, and that makes sense. I mean, Samsung has TVs now that when you turn them off, they're clear. It makes sense. It really does.
Well,
but the problem is
that's the high tech.
We're not talking about the view screens today. So, jeez.
Oh yeah.
I hate that argument because everybody's like, "Well, Windows make sense." Well, okay, sure.
Sci-fi Windows can.
Yeah, but
But
Star Trek's never had them in almost since 2009. Also, since 2009, now that's the default. That
ju-
just bugs me.
just have him open, just have him because you can fix it so easily. But you know the reason for the discovery window, or at least the discovery scaling. Like
What?
one of the fundamental reasons was because they had to have the window because blur, and then they put the window on the size they were originally going to do, but then the window took up the entire bridge module, and it looked stupid because it didn't look proportionally scaled because the bridge is too big, the bridge dome is too small because the bridge is too big, and then the window is like the entire front. It looked stupid. It just felt wrong. So they rescaled it for when the window felt natural, and then boom, the ship's now ginormous.
Yeah,
That's one of the stories, and it's like, oh, so the window is part of the reason for the death of the size scale.
awesome. So it's still left to be, you know, we still don't know what's going to happen with this whole Munez out thing. If somebody new replaces him that has more love for the franchise, maybe they'll get rid of some of the other higher ups and maybe do some house cleaning and maybe fix things, because it just seems like there's not a lot of Star Trek love in the corporate offices there, I guess.
Well, that's the
The
thing.
design by committee.
People can like Trek that work on the show, and I don't think you can necessarily be in this world and not know about Star Trek. You know, to some degree. And who could hate Star Trek? Just the idea of it. But yeah, if someone up above says, "Oh, we need shiny monitors that look '09 to link to the young people," well, now you've suddenly just determined an entire course, and the people underneath, well, they're being paid to do a job, and they've got to do a job within the limitations of what the uppers are doing. So, whereas Gene, obviously being an up, he was doing certain things, and yes, he was maybe a bit too everyone's too positive to each other. But at least his creative decisions were good, and he was doing the vision was correct, and where it was going was artistically and then stylistically, and then people learn from him, and then you have the legacy of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just, as much as they say it's not influenced by the Kelvin films, Discovery has a very Kelvin-esque feel.
I mean, and that captain's chair is very similar to the Franklin's for the.
Yes.
I mean, come on. I mean, the nickings. I mean, we did the trailer review. We broke down every piece. It's like, is it Kelvin? Is it Prime? Is it Reboot? And it's like, well, this are all Kelvin designs. Not identical, because you can't do that. But I mean, yeah, obviously. But the thing is, that makes sense from an artistic point of view. You take, in a visual reboot, you take the last visual reboot as an indicator, because people are used to that. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to be consistent with how you're approaching that, saying visual reboot, cool. Not visual reboot, retcon. Oh, okay, that's sad. But then obviously there's different licenses, so you can't even do that. And it's like, oh, it's more but that deal with CBS and Paramount trying to merge them all together. Now he's gone, new leadership. They could either, because if one tyrant in terms of like the power they have, and as soon as you take over a big company, you're a tyrant of power. It could be for good or it could be bad. If they say we're merging, it's happening. We'll make we'll negotiate until it works. It's gonna happen, But if the pride comes in the way, if whatever can stop it, and that's a thing. So it'll be interesting, because if the licenses did combine, that could be worse in a sense though, because you might have like Kelvin and Prime be one universe, and it's like what? I don't know.
Yeah. But on a more pleasant note, guys, I got my 3D printed Starship today from Star Trek Online, guys. Who wants to see it? If you want to see it, send a super chat and I'll show it to you, because it's really cool. It's just one of the small ones. It's not one of the big ones. It's one of the tiny ones, but it's really worth it. I'm going to be doing a captain's log, probably talking about it a little bit. But it's from Game Print and Mixed Dimensions. That's the name of the company. And they did a fantastic job. It took about 3 or 4 months to get to me, but now that I've seen the quality of the cheap version, I'm going to dish out a little bit more money and try to get one of the bigger ones, I think, because it's definitely worth it.
Nice. And we got an interesting thing a second ago. Patrick Kaser, Just consider the visuals disconnected from the story, similar to how theatre players reinvent Shakespeare for modern audiences. How do you respond to that, Stuart?
Say that again. A little slower.
Just consider the visuals disconnected from the stories, similar to how theatre players reinvent Shakespeare for modern audience.
No, I think that's stupid. I hate Shakespearean plays in modern times. I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan.
Yes.
This is one of my examples. The Benedict Cumberbatch series that's in modern times is fantastically well done. I absolutely love it. However, the one episode they did in Victorian times where Sherlock Holmes belongs was by far the best one because it
wasn't the best story though.
No, but it was visually for a Sherlock Holmes fan. It was perfect, and I'm just not a fan of it. It's a period piece. You got to talk about it in the period. You can't update Star Trek's visual effects like that and say it's prime.
It's not even that. The biggest problem for me is that just consider the visuals disconnected from the stories. The problem is they don't consider that. So you're welcome to invent your own headcanon here, but we can't because they're telling us these are not disconnected. This is the new rebooted version, this is the new retcon version. So you have to do it by their standards. They're saying this is now TOS Prime, slightly pre-TOS. Well, okay, so if we say it isn't, because it's just disconnected, then if they keep evolving this design, and then in 7 years this becomes the one that takes over, we've just actively let Star Trek for 50 years for Rick Sternbach, Andrew Probert die. Or at least become the old stuff that no one cares about. So you shouldn't let that happen, because that stuff is superior in every way.
Well, we got to make sure our Super Chat friends are happy. David Bessig sent $2, show the ship. So I'm going to show the ship.
Yay.
You guys ready?
Remember, you're only in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Focus, damn you. Focus. Why is it not going to focus? The detail on them is absolutely incredible. Come on, focus. It was focusing a second ago when we started this whole thing. Damn it. Focus. Anyway, while it's focusing.
Damn it, Jim. It's a camera, not a good camera. It's a 4K camera.
It's a 4K expensive camera,
why
exactly.
Why don't you go to OBS and do a manual focus then?
Oh, hold on.
Oh. Riveting television.
It's not television, it's internet. Come on. That's my big hand. It's nice.
I think you should
anyway, here it is. You can kind of see the detail a little bit. It's absolutely fantastic. This I made before. This is my Tier 5 Connie. It's got the angled struts on it. I know. This is before the Discovery Enterprise even showed up. It's got the photon torpedo launcher, the refit neck. It's got all the colors from my ship. It's got the registry, the NCC 612674-A, the USS Executioner.
Stuart, nothing else could be an A apart from the Enterprise, remember?
Not in Star Trek Online time. They've changed that rule.
No, it looked great. That was awesome. No, it looks very good with the swept-back pylons. It just makes me think of Phase 2 Enterprise. Like, this is the Phase 1.15.
Yeah, because I still have a regular Constitution class, which is the regular registry number in the game. So
just think that's the Warp 8 variant.
Sure, yeah.
Or 8.5 or something.
TXR, whatever your name is.
Crooks, were you?
£5 donation, thank you. I agree with you about bridge windows, suitable for the Soyuz docking at the ISS, but not for a Starship. Do you think Discovery will survive Munez's departure? I think it will, yes. There's enough creative people behind it that it's still going to be a thing. But we don't know what changes they're making to Season 2. They seem to be on the right track. So maybe they're going to start steering it in the correct direction. I don't know.
I have a good point about that, but Stuart, mention why Super Chats are important, because we only had 2 in 30 minutes, which is kind of amazing. So explain what Super Chats are and why they should.
Well, yeah, Super Chats are a great way to support the channel. Either heading over to Patreon, going to Trekyards.com, they all help as well, donating that way. But Super Chats are a good way to interact with us, because we actually see them, because there's so many, people chatting in the chat window that it flies by, and it's hard to scroll back up and pick out certain stuff to talk about. So we miss a lot of stuff. If you want to make sure we don't miss it, you could just send us a super chat, and you're helping the show out, you're helping us out, and at the same time you're getting your answer to your question, or you're getting your comment read, you're getting your voice out there, because we'll read it obviously on air here, and people can talk about it. So plus the comment thing is awesome. It really is, the chat window, but people are having their own conversations within it. It's hard to keep track of what the hell's going on. So super chats are a great way to kind of get our attention. So,
although one did get my attention, Big Boss. If you think Discovery is badly written, you need to go back and watch TNG. Discovery is badly written, and so is season 1 of TNG, but only some episodes.
Oh yes,
because they have double the number of episodes, which means they have double the chances to make a good episode. But Discovery is just a poor excuse for writing. Just lazy.
Yeah.
But it just harkens from changing the entire storyline in the very last minute. Obviously, it's going to ruin it.
Well, that's the new trend in Hollywood these days, to film a movie.
God. Yeah.
Film a movie, rewrite it, bring in a different director, refilm scenes, shuffle the scenes around that are already been filmed to make sense, which don't ever make sense, and then squish it all together into a movie that people are like, eh.
That's amazing.
There's an original vision that's filmed. Most of the time, a lot of it's filmed, and then somebody gets canned, and all of a sudden there's a new vision, and they try to merge the two, and it just never works.
But that's the thing, isn't it, though? The person you hire, you trust to be the right guy, whereas sometimes it's the wrong guy. Case in point, Nicholas Meyer was the right guy to hire. He did it respectfully, but changed enough, but not allowed to change the rest, so it was a good medium, and it worked out really well. Whereas the guy from Last Jedi, the wrong guy to hire, clearly. He butchered it.
Rian Johnson.
The guys at Enterprise first season, maybe not the best guy because they were franchise fatigue. Manny Koto comes in, right guy to hire. He suddenly gave a whole brand new life to it.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Fuller, wrong guy to hire, did it wrongly, had the wrong ideas. And that's what I was going to mention a minute ago. So you said, Les Moonves leaving and his decisions. Well, what were his direct decisions? Because Trek is still one of their biggest properties, obviously.
But he was on record saying he despises sci-fi. So you're not gonna build a team that's going to necessarily take care of that as their baby if you don't care about it. You're gonna focus on other stuff. So I don't know how influential he was in the Discovery crew or anything, but despising sci-fi, I don't know. That's a hard word, despising. Like, it doesn't even, I dislike sci-fi, or I'm not a fan of sci-fi. No, I despise it. Well then, if you're gonna say that,
I'm interested to know what he likes then. Because sci-fi represents
romantic comedies.
I don't know. It's just, for me, I mean, sci-fi is the most open-ended genre. Action movie is by default action. Action tends to be either shooting people, running people, hitting people with cars, or in a car, or fist fights. Okay, you can do lots of stories, but they're all earthbound with a focus on a gun, a fist, or a car. Great. Romantic comedy is always on love, but you've always got to get the girl at the end or get the boy at the end. There's always a default ending. Yes, heroes have to win, but look at Avengers. That's not. I don't consider that sci-fi. I consider that action, drama, fantasy. It's a bit. Just because it's got space in it, I don't consider it necessarily science fiction, and there is science fiction elements.
Yeah.
Whereas sci-fi, I mean, look at Stargate, even though you don't like it as much, especially the first 4 seasons, every episode was another planet with another race, with another, look at older Earth cultures, and they're all about characters, and cool locations, and cool things, and that's all still just one TV show, and yet they do 19 period pieces. I mean, iZombie's a weird example. I wouldn't necessarily consider it sci-fi either, but people certainly could, and look at how they allow the character to play all these millions of different parts. Because it's not just a crime drama, a rom-com. You add these either fantasy or sci-fi elements, and you can do whatever you want. Just going into space gives you literally unlimited stars, planets, moons. So to not like sci-fi, it's not like the future of our race, the future of where we're going to go, what we're going to do. And that's fine, but you're limiting yourself to just Earth. And Earth, as we know, is quite a shitty place a lot of the time for a lot of people.
Yeah, but I don't know how much that influenced what we've seen so far from Discovery. So we got another £5 donation. So
Hey,
thank you. It's nice to chat with you chaps. It's great to use real life Star Trek tech to have a conversation.
Yeah.
They use video conferencing in TOS. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Michael Madden, $5.
Oh, Stuart, you went down. So this is the problem we're doing with Skype.
Actually,
Stuart just completely went out there. What was that, Stuart?
I said Michael Madden, $5.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. What about the theory that like is actually Luther Sloan? I, I'm confused.
Please let us know what you mean.
You mean Sloan, like from Section 31 Sloan?
Do you know any
And
other
who
Sloans?
is that like? No, I don't. But I'm sure there are other Sloans.
Yeah, people keep going about how Discovery is badly written, or again, obviously everyone has different opinions. Some saying it isn't. Do you think it's badly written?
Um, yes.
Because I have specific examples of how it's badly written. I'm a filmmaker, so I see it in a certain way. So, I mean,
Overall, yes, I would say it is. There's a few shining examples in there that are not bad or good. I think he meant Pike instead of like. Pike
Ooh.
is actually Luther Sloan.
I disagree.
Didn't Sloan die? Yes, he did.
Wait, and he's not that old. Unless, well, no, no. To be fair, if they said Section 31 could keep their agents alive for 100 years, would you bat an eyelid?
Mm.
Good. Or 200 years, sorry. I mean, I think I could probably get behind that. There's some special ancient technology.
Dr. Strangelove, I've been here 30 seconds and we're talking shit about Discovery. Well, you've missed most of the conversation, so we're not really talking shit about Discovery. We don't hate Discovery. There's parts of it we like. We just point out the good and bad in it. But
We call
anyway.
out the good and call out the bad. And yes, more like lazily written. Yeah, sure. Yeah, with plot holes being one of its major things. No, we're not a shit talking channel. Let's do two things we like about Discovery, each of us, because it really is just contextual. You know, what is good, what is bad. Well, they're making the content, so there you go. I mean, one thing you love about Discovery.
One of my favorite things is Tilly, and not just because I find her attractive, because she's a well-written character. She's realistic. She's not perfect, and she embodies everything that the Federation is, with the way she wanted to talk to Ash after everybody had found out what had happened to him. She wanted to be, everybody needs friends. That within her is the embodiment of Jane Roddenberry's vision,
which is so funny because it doesn't quite blend with the show that she's in. Like, she stands out really far. Like, she's too positive for the show she's in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was going to be more technical and say the transporter effect's great.
Well, yeah, it is.
Like, it's just a good modern version of the transporter effect. Cool. Phases alright, although I think I should iterate to have a new version as the normal tip. Then it'd be like, oh cool, they upgraded one level, now they've got the old tip. Or the new tip, if you consider it. Yeah.
Jay Gaskins, 43, $9.99. I just tried to watch Discovery again this weekend. It's still a mess. Well, you got to remember too that it's not a cohesive story because they scrambled last minute and they had like the first 5 or 6 filmed, and then they had to change what Fuller had planned.
Literally from episode 3 onwards, it went.
And that's why the last episode feels so rushed, because they had to tie up a bunch of loose ends so they could start their season 2. And here's the Enterprise. Please ignore everything that's happened. This is our fan service.
But that's also why the writing gets better and better and better, because they know what they're doing then. You know? It's like one of the biggest problems I have with the first episodes is that you look at the Burnham and Saru dynamic, and they hate each other beyond belief. But they've been working together for like a decade, and you feel, and the way they play it as if they've just met each other and they hate each other, and yet they're meant to be these colleagues that are friends, and they build up to it, but they completely wrongly pitched that, and the acting is really it's just the writing and the direction, how they did that, and it doesn't make any sense at the beginning of the way they're trying to undermine each other after being with each other that many years. Like, there's a certain way you do that. It's not that way.
Yeah, and the thing you got to remember too is TNG, Enterprise. The first season's always a little rough. They need to find their footing, and who knows what's going to happen if Discovery goes for 7 seasons. We could be looking back in this in 7 years, going, "Oh, Discovery's not as bad as everybody thought it was at first." And remember that first season where they had to scramble to fix things. It could look. in hindsight, it could be really great. We've talked about that many times, you and I.
Well, they're going to retcon it better in season 2. They're going to make things make more sense, and you can easily add, like we said with the sarcophagus ship, you just actually set a thing on it. They mentioned offhand dialogue. Wow, do you remember last year when we destroyed that 14,000-year-old Klingon sect ship that had Romulan cloaking devices that was linked to every ship that they came into contact with? So by destroying that, you destroyed all the cloaking devices. Wow, you just retconned all the stuff back into making sense. You know what I mean? It is that easy, especially now that they've seen the fan reaction, they've seen whatever. Yeah.
But they don't care. They want to put their mark on it. They want to change things just for the sake of change, and they want to put they want to piss all over it, basically. Mark it as their own territory and say, this is what we did. This is our stuff. We're not going to use anything that's come before. We are, but we're going to change it and put our own stank on it.
Well, did you read that? I was actually out with Marie in London. She was shopping for clothes. And I was literally waiting outside the changing room, or like next to it, and I looked, and there was a convention. Don't know where it was, in Florida, like a week ago. And every single convention they go to, the production designers, they get asked, "What about TOS? How you link it to TOS?" And they must be pissed off by these things because they know they can't. They're not going to. They whatever. They know that already. And she said, "Yeah, we can't use cardboard sets," and that's the quote. We can't use. No one.
Yeah, that caused a firestorm on the Trekyards page when that article was posted.
Yeah.
People were freaking out about that comment, and it is rude. It is insulting. The craftsmen that worked on Star Trek in the '60s did a fantastic job with what they had and the resources they had. They didn't have the best budget. It was pretty good. It was the best visual effects for the time.
Yeah, groundbreaking.
Things like that.
Yeah,
you got to keep that. You got to keep that in mind.
Multiple level optical effects, groundbreaking. And then when we were in Ticonderoga, Doug Drexler, he talks about McCoy's office desk as being a work of art, all his angles and curves, and it's like, so she's disrespecting them for being cheap.
It looks like it's floating in the air, yeah.
Yeah, she's saying, oh, it's cheap rubbish, they didn't design anything good, and this guy's older, more experienced, and, been in the field longer, saying it's genius, it's whatever. It's like, well, it's the person that can define. If the person's not a sci-fi fan, they won't appreciate it as much. If they're not you know what I mean? Yeah. It's all relative. Not that we're saying we should have just Trek fans make Trek, because, like I say, then we wouldn't have Nicholas Meyer, and he absolutely gave the franchise the life it needed. But it's all depends on the people behind it.
Liam Hodgetts, £5. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, as always, enjoying the content.
Thank you.
Quick question: would you rather have a disco movie, Kelvinverse movie, or a Mirrorverse movie?
All three, please.
All three, and as long as they're done right. I really want to see a fourth Kelvin movie. I want Chris Pine to suck it up a little bit. He says he wants to do another one, but he's still being a jackass. I understand that there was a contract and he was promised money, but if they can't deliver and you really enjoy the product, why not take a little bit? I'm sure he can live without the other $2-3 million that he was promised. I'm sure like the $17 million that he's getting for the role or whatever he's getting will be sufficient, because it's more than I'm going to make in my lifetime. So I'm sure he can suck it up for a movie if he really enjoys the content. So I'd love to see a fourth Kelvinverse movie, to be honest.
And two interesting side comments there. They shouldn't have to sync up with canon. It should be canon already. Yep. Yeah. And I honestly don't think that's what they were saying. They were saying that compared to modern days, there's very low production budget. Yeah, but so was Star Wars A New Hope. And yet, Rogue One and Solo and Solo Star Wars movie thingy, they lined up with the art design and remade those. I mean, it was more expensive than TOS, but it was still a cheap budget for the time. So it doesn't quite have the same thing. They still have green monitors that have monotone colours with pipes in the walls that don't make it. Again, we've talked about how you can easily redo it, but I mean, just I would love to see them take the TOS, just the corridor, right? Rebuild the angles, including the alcove, make it brushed metal instead. Make the carpeting like plates, with like numbers and like lines to imply this is an artificial gravity plate, this is this, detail it. Give it a ceiling with lights that, multiple beams of light so you can see like visible, like it's a little bit smoky so you can see the light streams. Each doobly-doo in the wall is actually got an LCD screen, it's got technology, and each of the panels is like, has got clips where you can pull it out, but it's got like sub-clips so you can like and like paint it in a more sexy way. And straight away even updated the corridor so it's still completely canon, but updated. You know what I mean? It's like just it. You know.
No, I agree. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at a comment.
Oh, what did I say?
Alex Kurtzperson instead of Kurtzman, because you got to be politically correct these days. Anyway, Mr. Poshny, £10 donation. Thank you very
Thank
much. That's
you.
awesome.
That really helps. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Captain and Commander, if you were both temporal agents in universe and were allowed to travel to one
Ooh.
moment in Star Trek timeline just to be there and see it, which would you both choose and why? Oh my God, that's a tough question.
Well, why don't I go back and answer the movie one again while you think of ideas? Because that's like the best question. Okay. So back to Lean for a second. Disco, Kelvin, and Mirror Universe. Mirror Universe would be really fun because you'd be a sequel to Mirror Darkly. You'd have Hoshi, take on the entire Empire, and then a new threat. Maybe the Zindi come in. You have this weird like temporal. We have this weird like war thing. Defiant versus a massive fleet, but they're trying to retcon it, and they're trying to they take piece of the Defiance. You've now got these Kit Bash ships, or whatever, or update it post TOS, whatever. It'd be really really fun. Disco movie you could easily make good. Make it a one-off movie against the Romulans. The Discovery needs to go into Romulan space and find something, and they've only got 2 spore drives left because it's all the mycelium they've got left. They've got one in, one out. But then as soon as they get there, they get attacked and they lose the drive. And Stamets gets hurt. And he's in a coma and talks to Hugh the entire time and gets secrets about the Roman Empire, which help them defeat them in the end. And la la la. That'd be fun. And then anything for Kelvin, as long as Simon Pegg writes it.
There you go. So I have an answer. I think I'd want to go back and see the launch of the Phoenix, because then you get to watch the Enterprise E take out some Borg as well, and there's a lot of cool action going on there. And you get to see the birth of the Kelvin timeline, or at least maybe the Mirror Universe timeline, because that's where everything kind of went off the rails as far as I'm concerned, because the Enterprise went back and created the new Enterprise reality, which is leading up to Discovery, and it's just that's the pivotal point. So to go back to Star Trek history is get to see the Enterprise E battle the Borg, get to see the first warp flight, and yeah, you get to see the birth of multiple timelines. Yes. I don't know. That's a hard question. I got to think of something more serious. But
it's funny mentioning that. I got a sort of joke answer, but it's sensible as well. You should go back to 2009, 5 seconds after Nero comes out of the thing, before he attacks the Kelvin, and then you walk up to him and say, Mr. Nero, what? Just a bit of advice. Go to warp right now to Romulus and save everyone. Cool? Cool. Then he does, and the timeline's saved. I mean, okay, everything's changed, but it's a parallel universe, it's fine. Don't blow up the Kelvin, you don't need to, because I'll tell him what time he is. I mean, they've got chronometers. How many times in Trek do they go back in time? They're like, what's the date? Checking star charts. This date. Mm-hmm. Why are they having to take a guy on board and kill him just for the date? Okay, that was because he hates Spock. But it's like, why is that seriously a question? And you can radiometrically date stuff, I'm sure, from afar. And you can scan the ship and say, look, it's a Kelvin. And NC, it must be from this time ago. I didn't realise that was also badly written. I didn't realise that. I mean, even in TOS, they just look down and they see their little dial. Oh, that's the date. Why is Nero having to kidnap somebody for the date?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we got another £5 donation, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Effects are nice, but what counts is story and characters that we identify with. Mm-hmm. Discovery lacks the warmth of previous Star Trek and had terrible writing. Yes, hasn't been a lot of character development. I mean, there has been one for. I mean, I really despise Burnham for most of season 1, and the last few episodes are kind of like, all right, she's not. I don't despise her. I hate her now. So she's kind of improved a little bit.
Well, Discovery.
But do we know anybody's name?
Slope.
Do we know anybody's name on the bridge? What's that chick that's half cybernetic? I don't know her name. And the black lady beside her, I don't know her name. I don't know the dude that sits over there.
Now, that could just be us not knowing, but when you mention it once in 6 episodes, maybe twice.
If you even mention the name. A lot of it's from the novels and stuff that people know the names of these characters. And I'm like, I want to know their name.
And the joke being that if you look at that compared to TOS, they didn't get any lines either. They got a little bit each episode, and they got a little bit each episode. Obviously, the movies gave them characters, but obviously we're comparing it to TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, where everyone has more to do. Not so much Enterprise, but why aren't they good DS9 characters? Why aren't they fun Voyager characters in terms of all got interesting personality quirks, even if they're not doing very much with them, you know.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. Yeah, like I said, it got better in writing. The longer it went, the better it got. Until then, they realized, shit, we're out of episodes. Let's wrap up the entire war in an episode or two. You know what I mean? It should have been 3 episodes, then 2 set up, then 4 mirror universe, and then 5 to finish off the war.
Yeah.
Not 7, then 3, then 2, when 3 were filler. It's like, really?
And I just want to jump off that comment too, where he says effects are nice, but what counts is story. And to be honest, we haven't had a lot of great effects in Discovery. I want to see the ship. I love we're ship guys, obviously here. I want to see flybys. I want to see those opening shots of the ship. You know, Captain's log, Stardate, and the nice flyby, or have it in orbit. We hardly ever got any of those in Discovery. It's like the budget all went towards the set building and, like you've said, the set building and hiring
Actors.
Lorca.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I want to see ship shots. I mean, we did in the last 1 or 2 episodes. We saw a few.
They're brighter as well. Did you notice that? Because they got notes from people.
Yes. It was way too dark. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
Yeah, not just the tone of the story and the characters and the universe is dark, but the actual visual effects are too dark. Like literally.
It's interesting. They had nice effects in terms of the visual quality was good, but like I said, they were too dark. So you couldn't appreciate
too
them.
infrequent.
But you expect space visual effects to be nice. Now, if they're not nice, it's the most expensive it's the most expensive Star Trek project ever created. Of course, it's going to have the nice effects, but they're not well cinematographically done. Like, you know what I mean? There's some beautiful shots in Enterprise, just like that's artistically right. Or First Contact. How many shots in First Contact? Like, that's a damn good shot. It's not necessarily lit the best now, compare it, or the best models, but the shot itself is better. So there's more to it than just lighting. You know, it's all these things put together, but there were better shots at the end. So again, they're learning that fans didn't like it, and whatever. And also Big Boss again. Oh come on! I found the characters of Disco much more enduring than Voyager or Enterprise.
I just read that too.
This comes from someone who watched the original. I mean, did you? Things I like the characters in Voyager. They didn't give them much to do.
I did too.
You like Harry straight from the start. You like Paris straight from the start. B'Elanna never gets much, but you know you'd always want to rely on her as a person. Janeway's a damn strong captain in terms of she'll deal with the situation. Chakotay's never given anything, but he's the odd one out. And Tuvok's always given some interesting stuff to do. But it's about the stories. Voyager's about story, not necessarily character. DS9's about characters, not necessarily story, but it has some good stories too.
Yeah, the characters are fantastic in Deep Space Nine.
And then Discovery is sort of about the arc, but since they changed the arc, and it's about a reveal that didn't quite work, and relationships that don't quite feel right, and then... Because, I mean, Saru...
And he mentioned Enterprise characters too, and,
well,
you know...
Yeah.
The thing I liked about Enterprise is the fact that this was our first foray into space, and each episode they would basically reference something that happened last week, or remember when we did this, or, you know, and it was great because that's what you would do on your first trip out into space, and that's one thing I really like about it. Voyager's more standalone episodes, like a lot of things happen to those characters that really are impactful in the episode, and the next episodes are just all right again when you'd really be dealing with the emotional and psychological effects of those for a long time.
Voyager is a show that was ahead of its time. The premise was excellent. There's some interesting characters that just didn't explore them, and some of the Borg stuff, some of the temporal stuff was really interesting. If it came out 7 years later, you know, because BSG is very similar, you know, like Ronald D. Moore said, well, I couldn't do on Voyager, I did in Battlestar Galactica. So if Voyager was the Trek show now, with the same design, same cast, but the same age, boy, the repercussions, you know, they all start positive and young and fresh, and you see them get broken. That'd be way more interesting than have them all be annoying and revengeful and mean, and Lorca be mirror. You know, start Star Trek, but let us grow with the characters, even if they go dark. I mean, Scott Bakula in Enterprise starts vanilla, but season 3 is what Discovery season 1 should have been. A really excellent arc, very well paced, lots of great episodes, lots of harsh episodes, and boy, he gets so much darker by the end. You see his depth of despair he goes into, and the horribleness of the crew. Like, that's Year of Hell done as well. And it's just like, ooh, so much there.
Yeah, there was so much going on in Enterprise that way. Although that being said, with Bakula, the first two seasons, I was really not super impressed with him. He sounded like a whiny little high school kid. Well, the Vulcans, they don't like us.
Well, yeah, I don't think anyone liked that
Got
plot.
that?
I don't think
We
anyone
got
liked
that.
that.
Yeah.
That was
So,
weird.
but yeah, you're right. Once season three hits was when I tuned out because of the Zindi thing. But going back and rewatching it, it's some damn good
It's when
storytelling,
it
and
kicks into gear.
I miss that show. I really do. We needed more than four seasons of Enterprise, in my opinion.
And I think each show should be talked about by itself. If we were both around with Trekyards on season one TNG, we'd say, "Wow, awesome internal design. Bit weird, not very TOS-y, but cool future, awesome. Not very good stories, but these characters are really interesting. There's so much potential. They're not realizing it, but there's so much potential. And Picard's a bit too dickish, but I see a lot of potential. I think we all thought Enterprise was a bit, Like I remember I said this on the stream yesterday with my dad. That was a golden age of 2004. We had BSG, you had Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Enterprise, and I knew the entire length of those four shows, the Enterprise was the weakest of those four. I mean, by far. I watched Enterprise out of obligation to see what was going to happen, but it was not. I mean, compared to BSG at the same time, it was like, wow, how is one show like an 8, 9, 10, and one's like a 4 or 5 or a 6? This is obviously early Enterprise, it got better. And
Yeah.
SG-1 like is a solid 8, even the late seasons. Atlantis I prefer in many ways. I mean,
I
that was
prefer Atlantis too.
yeah. So Enterprise was none of us thought it was amazing at the time, and it doesn't. It's got some really good episodes, but we're not going to say Star Trek isn't good because it's Star Trek. Discovery
Yeah.
is not as good because it's not as good.
Well, the good way to kind of make an analogy out of that is you really miss the flavor of your burnt grilled cheese when the next day the chef is serving you a shit sandwich. Like, damn, that grilled cheese was good yesterday.
Yeah.
You really don't know what you got till it's gone, and that's just human nature. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but then it's weird to then look back on the JJ stuff and say, damn, that art design, they got the costumes, at least they were trying. The exteriors, at least they were trying. I mean,
There's a
again,
lot JJ verse.
yeah, they said, let's take TOS and modernize it with a bit of shininess. And they almost got it right. If JJ wasn't in charge of the film, then he wouldn't have made Ryan Church do a few things, and then the ship, because I think some of the earlier sketches, the nacelles were in proportion, they were red or orange. Again, JJ's influence, slightly wrong guy, whatever. But whatever. But it was obviously a lot closer. But again, they just took the refit saucer, sleeked out the secondary hull and the neck. I mean, it's a very close recreation, and the uniforms are fine. Although having the deltas on them looks silly, and it's like you wouldn't have a shirt where everything is a checkered shirt where it's literally just the American flag is every single spot. That's the army uniform is just American flags. It's like that's stupid. No, as a non-American, I have respect for clothing.
Especially in an era where like the Delta wasn't.
Well, no, because Discovery, we see Earth before TOS, so we know the Delta is the standard.
But it's not, clearly. And the Discovery Delta is different because it's got the split down and it's shaped differently than the standard Delta.
They didn't even go into that, did they? They didn't even.
But it is shaped differently, and it's got the split in it. So it is different than this Enterprise.
But I meant the one in Starfleet Command at the end of the season. You see the Delta on the wall, Starfleet Command. It's a Delta. So obviously you wouldn't paint it on the walls if it wasn't a fleet-wide thing. But yeah, so why are the Deltas split?
Reasons. It's this is the part that spins and is.
Because that's a very specific art decision. Part of the theory is that they can't use a lot of, CBS, a lot of the licensed things, so they made it different on purpose. But it's like, why would you do that? Because it works for a Section 31 badge, but then you're giving away a Section 31 by having a unique badge. Absolutely. But why? Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, we're at the halfway mark of this thing, so let's just reiterate what we kind of started talking about and the whole topic here. So Moonves is out because of sexual allegations levied against him. A large chunk of his retirement severance package thing is going towards the Me Too movement, which is awesome. I think that's a good idea. And will this affect Star Trek? I don't know. I hope so, because he did say he despised sci-fi, so he could be one of the reasons that they didn't focus as much on Star Trek as they maybe should have. That's basically where we stand with this uh, head of CBS getting fired, and hopefully somebody that steps up will be able to thin the herd a little bit, maybe make some decisions to clean house, and maybe put the more appropriate people in the right spots to kind of give us back the love for Star Trek that I think we deserve. So we're not sure what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting for sure.
I mean, it's sad because we might get to the position where we say the devil we know. You know,
apparently Enterprise was canceled on his call as well as Jason.
I said that already. Yeah, he's just said no, can it? It's like, not because of ratings, not because of show got better, so you should support a show that gets better. No, it's yeah. No, again, he did cancel Enterprise. He did sign deals that allowed other things, because the Paramount deal stopped them making a show for years, and then as soon as that deal finished, they made Discovery. So that but he was part of the ones that signed that deal. So that's his choice. Yeah. And to give JJ, I'm sure he definitely signed off on that. Well, although he was up and coming at the time, just wrong up and coming guy. Yeah. Imagine if he was like Neil Blomkamp, what he could do with it. But then, what if a worse guy takes over? Because Moonves did commission Discovery. He did get a deal, as in under his watch. Don't know how much he had specifically, but he did get a deal with Netflix to make the show free for them. Although in season 2, obviously, they're much more worried about finances because they got to pay for it themselves, and fans aren't loving it too much.
A lot of hate for Moonves in the comments here.
Well, what's he done good for Star Trek? I mean, nothing.
Oh. Yeah. Gustav, $5.
Hey, thank you.
He said split off the Prime timeline. So I'm not sure what.
Well, why would you split off the Prime timeline? It is the timeline. You split off your show into the Discovery timeline. It makes much more sense. Or, and we've said this before, have the Discoveryverse be the post NX-01 timeline. Because then you've got everything links together. Now, yes, that does mean that you can't. If you want to go back to TNG, you've got to retcon out Enterprise. But since they weren't in the movies anyway, that's fine, quote unquote. But that at least would be interesting, because then you could say, right, we're ignoring TOS, ignoring TNG, ignoring everything else, and looking at parallels NX-01. Okay, now NX-01 to Shinjo, cool. Okay, it's an evolution of that. But that's not how the show works. That's not how the universe works. But if we did get someone worse than Moonves, someone that just even worse hates Star Trek, or says, nah, Star Trek Discovery failed, let's backburner it for a few more years.
And that could happen.
Cancels the Picard show, cancels the...
Somebody could step in and say, look at all this negative online response to Discovery.
From the fans. Now, not from the general people. The general people soon love it. But from the fans. Hardcore fans.
So we're putting an end to Star Trek, and that could happen. So we got to be careful, guys. I got to point out a comment. The Life Dyslexic says, welcome to Section 31. Don't draw attention to yourselves. Now, wear your new black deltas when you're in the field at all times. Now, see, they don't wear the deltas. They carry them around in little boxes.
Yep.
Don't you know?
Prime 135-1 said, but we know that the NX-01 is part of the original timeline because the last episode is on a holodeck on the Enterprise D. Also, Defiant in Intimate Darkly. No, that version is after they changed the timeline, because you got to think time as being one thing. So in First Contact, they went back, changed it slightly. Then the NX-01 happened, and they got to the timeline. Like, I mean, time tends to, we see most films, tends to sort of smooth itself out. So when the E got back into the future, it was either they went into an alternate version of their own timeline, which was the post NX, and then like, oh, well, of course NX happened. I mean, it's weird. What always happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can imagine though that if they were really smart, well, okay, the problem is, right. So you got this. When Disney bought Star Wars, they started replastering Star Wars everywhere, for better and for worse. They've got some new people, but also alienating other people because of shows, toys. You can get Star Wars branded soap, Star Wars branded condoms, Star Wars branded bananas. I mean, it goes the gambit. It's a little bit excessive. They're really milking it for every cent it's worth, but the hardcore fanbase still goes. But Star Trek, look at the 5th anniversary, it was so underrepresented but actually it's the biggest sci-fi franchise in the world in terms of episodes, in terms of hours of content. So if the new person came and said, right, look at what Disney's doing, look what Marvel's doing, let's create the cinematic universe of Trek, which they already had 20 years ago. Bashir was on the TNG ship for an episode. Okay, it was very under all used, but there was a full crossover. Voyager had people from TNG. I mean, there were these things. So if this person came and said, right, boom, we're going to invest lots of money into this to do 10 episode arcs, 2 of them are going to be web-based on All Access, 2 are going to be on TV, but we're going to give them to Netflix again. So Netflix exclusives, but that's not paid per se because lots of Netflix.
Yeah, and speaking of paid, I just want to, we might as well bring up this next super chat. $5 from Michael Madden.
Ooh, yeah.
What about the theory that Discovery is behind a paywall to limit its positive effects on the poor? I don't know if I understand the question.
I was with you until positive effect, but then poor.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I don't know what's up with the paywall. It's greed, in my opinion. Luckily, in Canada, we do get Discovery for free on the Space Channel. So,
no, I agree. I think it's the wrong word because this makes sense in terms of where the world's heading. Look at Netflix; it's the biggest distributor of its kind. That model works. You pay one monthly fee, you get access to everything. If everything was on Netflix, then the world would be easier, sort of thing. Look at what Disney's doing. Disney's trying to build their own service, so you can watch every Disney property. Okay, fine. Like, it's better than saying, right, tune in at 9 p.m. every Saturday on this TV channel. You can only access via a box that you buy and you rent every month, basically. And it's only in 720p, because we just got a Skybox and it's 720p, and it's like, are you kidding? Freeview's 1080p. What are you doing? Whereas online, it's like, okay, it releases this day. You can get whatever you want that day. You wake up, it's there. Full high def. All these things, and it's rewatchable any time of the day. Like, does make more sense, and being on Netflix makes sense. And obviously the rest of the world, we get Netflix, so there is like no paywall because it's just, you've got a Netflix account, awesome, you watch it. All Access is a bit weird, but it would be fine if All Access, and we said this before, if All Access was the Star Trek service in a sense. Star Trek's a flagship, like one of the things was for, like, Voyager was for the new network and such. If they said, right, All Access, this will fund New Trek. If you buy a All Access subscription, we will put the money directly into New Trek, which gets more people because there's a huge Trek fan base out there. If you get 30 million people paying each month for a service, that's a lot of capital every month, and it'll be unlimited. So if they said, right, we're doing 3 new online exclusive shows for All Access, plus you get the entire catalogue of shows, which is awesome, in all the high defs, plus we're going to take a percentage of each month to do the remaster DS9 fund. If All Access...
Well, they're not going to do that, though.
No, I know. They're not smart enough.
No.
If they really got people hooked, like if they said, right, if we get... Now, this is obviously could just be a lie. Like, it's not Khan sort of lie, but if they said, if we can get All Access subscribers for 12 months, 6 million subscribers for 12 months, we will redo DS9 with those funds, like, instantly. Okay, that's a really, long-term goal, and if we drop underneath it, they'll probably say no. But you know what I mean? If there's those weird goals of well, this is the service to invest back into more Trek, to make a 10-episode TOS show, because, if we were in America, I would totally buy the service for 10 weeks to watch a TOS show in 2K, be the first show to release in 2 or 4K, be the progressive guys, less episodes, higher quality, like Game of Thrones, or Legends of Tomorrow. First 4K TV show released natively on All Access without paying anything extra. That's awesome. And you get behind the scenes on it, proper bloopers and stuff. Supporting Trek could be the way of All Access, but they didn't do it quite right. What do you guys think about that idea and that big ramble?
Well, while you're thinking about that, guys, Ian Warrender, £5, thank you. Catching this late, both news and stream. I'll be going back straight after to get your reactions. Keep trekking, guys. The future remains uncertain. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. I don't know if the future is uncertain. A lot of people have said that Discovery is not going to make it past season 3. I don't know if that's true, honestly. It could be. It depends, who takes over, who's in charge, who gives the green light or the red light to, to the series. So I don't know. we have to be careful because if, like I said, if somebody gets in that position and guys, look at what the fans are saying online. There's such negative reaction around this Star Trek. Why are we even bothering with it?
Oh,
Well,
but
50-year history.
but it's just racists and pure that sexist. Says Sneaker Martin Green and the group whenever they're on
Yeah.
panel, the intolerant fans that you guys should know better. You're Star Trek fans, be tolerant. It's like, oh, you think we think we don't like Discovery because you're black? We had Cisco
No.
and
Yeah.
Uhura. Oh, you think we don't like Discovery because you're a woman? We had Uhura and Janeway,
Janeway.
and Kira Nerys and Jolene Blaylock, whatever, T'Pol. Those aren't problems. We already had a black lead, and because you're not technically the main lead, according to the show, you're just one of the ensemble. We already had the main black lead, Cisco. We had the main woman lead, Janeway. It's not about that. Please stop. It just must be a script they give them. You know.
Yeah.
As soon as you say that, news articles say, well, Sneaker Martin Green said Star Trek fans are sexist, therefore watch Discovery. It's like, oh wow, good job for understanding the fans. Nice.
Yeah. Michael Parker, $5. Thank you. Any truth to the rumor that Michael Dorn is in negotiations to get his own show, reprising his role as Lieutenant Commander Worf? Thanks, guys. No, I don't think so. The Captain Worf TV show has been... I mean, he could be coming back to be in the Picard show, maybe an episode or two, or a recurring character. That'd be
I've said that
fine.
before, anyone in makeup can stay in the show forever.
Yeah. Well, even Data can, because he said that his,
Yeah, but Brent doesn't want to do it. He said that
I know he
before.
doesn't.
If you pay him enough, he will, because, money. But,
Yep.
and I think it's probably true that he's asking again, because now Moonves is out, now Discovery got a mixed reaction. I mean, they all know the reaction. I'm sure this is that didn't quite pan out properly. So if Worf, if he's saying, right, guys at CBS, you heard this pitch before, you didn't quite buy it. I'm still interested. I'm still gonna look good in the makeup. You want Klingons, you want fresh, you want dark, you want this post TNG, but it doesn't need to even link to the canon so much. It just, Worf in the Gamma Quadrant. Sure, whatever. It's good stories, and makeup's cheap now. You can 3D print sets. It's fine. Because it will put in the future, you can have newer sets like. I mean, I think that show, because just like bringing Picard back, bringing Worf back for a new show would be not as big a sell, obviously, but it's more intriguing, I think, to bring Worf back for a show than it is to bring Picard back for a show. It's more exciting for Picard, but you could ruin Picard. Whereas Worf, he's got a certain line of where he's going to go, and you can have fun with that, I think, a lot. And to see proper Klingons back would be certainly refreshing.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably. I mean that's been a rumor because he's been trying to work it for like 4 or 5 years, but I think I would assume he's probably trying to repitch them. But if I was CBS, I'd give him a 6-episode budget. Say, right, just like Wrath of Khan, you get cheap ass money, but we're gonna you're gonna build 3 sets, bridge, reusable room that becomes crew quarters, and this and this, and you have one like other set for other things that you build every week, and most of the stuff takes place on this couple of rooms on a ship, and that's fine because you have characters, and they also do away missions, so you have like in a forest and shoot on location, so you but not big locations, just like a forest and a sandy bit and stuff. There you go, 6 episodes, see what it's like they should really be treading the water of putting the toes in, saying, right, how can we expand the universe? Because I mean, we heard that obviously those announcements. There's the Academy show. There's this. Haven't had anything in 6 months, 4 months. The Nicholas Meyer show that obviously didn't happen.
Nicholas Meyer left Discovery.
Yep.
For this mysterious new project, or did he just leave because it sucked? I don't know.
Yep. So
but yeah, that's been brought up occasionally. But yeah, there's very little talk about what Nicholas Meyer's up to. Hope he's still doing a Star Trek project. But anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody had said, isn't Worf the ambassador at the end of Deep Space Nine? Yes, but I mean, he could still come out of... He can still forfeit that role and come back.
Well, if you recall, after his year in ambassadorship, he took a position on the Enterprise again.
That's true.
See Insurrection and Nemesis.
Yeah.
It's very underwhelming, his time as an ambassador. Because he just was a tactical officer again a year later.
Yeah.
Weird that. Oh well.
Well, when you're ambassador, you got special privileges. You can choose where you are, and I'm
Yeah,
taking a 3-month cruise on the Enterprise
because I like the double paycheck.
because I know people.
My
I'm in the
my
know.
yeah, my house brother is the leader of the Klingon Empire. Hey Marty, can I take a month off? Yes. Cool. I'm gonna take your bird of prey. What? Yeah, I'm taking the. What's the bird of prey called? What's Martok's bird of prey called? It was the Rataran.
The Rataran, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I tangented right into that. But guys, ask questions, super chat away. We're hoping to raise a certain amount today because we want to support this channel, and we're probably halfway there, ironically, for half time. So any amount, 5, 10, 15, a couple of 10s would be great, a couple of 20s would be great. Whatever you want to give. 227 people, which is amazing, watching us talk about Les Moonves and Discovery and future of Trek, but we do need your support as well. So ask questions via the super chat and let us know what you think, because we'll read out those comments, because we kind of have to. That's the super chat rule. It's a dangerous thing,
Yeah, it is.
but we kind of have to. Yeah.
And guys, for future lives, we're gonna have some really cool giveaways and stuff. We're not exactly sure when or what, but we're going to have some really cool stuff. We've given away a lot in previous lives, and we love giving away stuff to you guys. So we just got a $50 donation from Michael
really?
Madden.
Holy moly,
Madden, yeah.
that is amazing. Wow.
How about the idea that given its huge reach, loyal following, and place in history, Star Trek has a responsibility to be the moral compass of entertainment. Not too many more firsts left to achieve. Time to focus on straight-up social engineering. You know what? I like that because it is the blueprint for a utopian future. And yeah, that's really poetic, actually. Never really considered that.
Now
Everybody listen to Star Trek.
my only problem with that though is that there's a difference between working for social good and being a social justice warrior. You know, like having the episodes back in TOS was to help the world. It wasn't, being overly one thing, overly the other. So, like you can go too far in the direction of like the reason TOS was so good is because it got past censors that weren't smart enough to realise, but the smart people got it. But it was to good stories with those messages underneath. So have good messages, but don't make. It's like one of the disliked bits about the TNG is when they literally stop an episode of TNG and they have Wesley Crusher talk about how drugs are bad, and there's a scene.
Yeah.
It's like that's crap.
I don't understand. Why would you do that? Yeah.
That's just whatever. That's it done stupidly, poorly, and wrong, and it might help people, but you can do it smarter and better. This is still a fictional TV show to help and be good entertainment, but I wouldn't want it to just be, this episode about. I don't even want to get into it because those bars of what is socially justifiable, understandable change every year, which is good and bad, and some people are getting far too far on one side, because I think fundamentally people should just be people, and be just people are people. It's like, have you seen Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman?
Not yet, no.
I really enjoy it. I don't like musicals. That's really good. And one of the characters is black, but not like she's more brown than black. And in the middle of the movie, they go out to the theater, him and one of the white people, and she's got purple hair. And I'm watching the movie, and then all these people looking at her and being nasty to her. And I turn to Marie, my girlfriend, and say, "Are they getting her because she's black?" I literally didn't consider it for a single minute until over halfway through the movie, because she's just a person in the movie. I was so taken in by the story that I completely got lost on me that she was being racist against, because I didn't think of her that way. I thought, is it purple hair? Because you're not allowed purple hair at the time either. That'd be weird. I thought just, damn her hair. But no, it's because she's black. It's like, oh wow, I didn't even... Because I don't see people like that. It's not... That's not the thing. So Trek needs to sort of... It's like, okay, so there's a fan film that I was doing some help for, and there was a scene originally where there was a lesbian kiss between a Vulcan and an alien. And they had a conversation about being lesbians. And I said, no, that's the wrong way of doing it. The right way of doing it is have the characters walk into frame, hold hands, kiss like you would every day as a couple, and then walk away. Not the primary focus, or if it was, move away. Just show it as every day, Discovery would have been great as being a black female lead if they hadn't made such a big deal of it being a black female lead. Let the
Yes.
social change speak for itself. You know what I mean? Does that all
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tim Theo, $5. Thank you. Kate Mulgrew has been gallivanting around in interviews saying she wants to return as Captain Janeway. Any chance of this
Really?
happening? Any chance of this
Ooh.
happening? And your thoughts? Well, considering she's an admiral now, that's been established. I can see her coming back in the Picard show as in an admiral capacity. Again, maybe as a recurring role, maybe as a one-time thing. As a captain, I don't think so.
Oh no, yeah, not as a captain. No. Well, unless she went for the approach of Kirk, found Kirk's memoirs and said, never leave the captain's chair. That's really cool. Actually, I'd love to see her back because again, it's just linking the universe. It's canon being canon. How cool would it to be to have this Picard series start with Admiral Janeway saying, "Jean-Luc, we need this mission." Captain well, okay, he's a prophet now, but giving the mission. It's like why, it's a great cameo, and we know that people, because technically speaking, the last future show was Voyager. So if you want the sign-off character, you wouldn't have an Enterprise sign-off character because McCoy did TNG, Quark did Voyager. So you wouldn't have Sonequa Martin Green helping the. None of the timelines make sense. But if you had Janeway, who was last chronological show, again saying Picard, go do this, then that would continue the theme of because he's a big show of a new show. And it makes sense. Why not go back to talk to Captain Admiral Janeway for missions? That's awesome. And then you let her have, develop the character slightly, have her come back for a cool mission. Yeah, why not? That's awesome. Tim Russ it's the canon. I said to you before, but first season of 10 episodes, whatever the story is, have each episode bring back one cast member, but it's not for the sake of it. So for example, you bring back. Did Ro Laren die? Or was she fine? I can't remember.
I don't know, but I hope she died because I hated her character.
Okay.
I don't know.
Bring back Chakotay. Weird choice, but I was trying to go for the Maquis angle. So there's a new terrorist sect that love the Maquis. Okay, bring back Chakotay, one of the well-known Maquis leaders. And his role in the storyline is to facilitate the story of dealing with this new threat. But in that, you let him deal with the characters, but it's specifically for an episode. Same thing. The new transwarp drive of a new ship is broken. Bring in B'Elanna Torres, who made the transwarp drive work on Voyager for a bit. She has the most experience. Whatever, each one be a catalyst for a story, or just the facilitator of a story, rather than be a canon reference. You've got 3 casts of characters. Use them. An episode with the Ferengi, you would obviously bring back Grand Nager's Rom. Why would you invent a new Ferengi? You have Rom. And then Quark is mentioned because he should be mentioned. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah. Ricky Radio, $5.
That's a cool
In
name.
my opinion, yeah, exactly, yeah. In my opinion, I think the future of Star Trek hinges on what they decide to do with the new Picard series. This will ultimately decide Trek's fate, I pray. Yes. They need to play their cards very carefully, in my opinion, and really they need to make Star Trek more appealing to a broader audience. They say they're brought in the new fans with Discovery. That's why it's different. So that the older fans are somewhat annoyed or pissed off by Discovery. That's pretty obvious in a lot of cases. So let's make it exactly what it is, a continuation of TNG 20 years in the future, keeping Picard's character intact, making it definitely prime timeline, not pulling in any Discovery elements, not pulling in any Kelvin, any influences that way. Just make it strictly as if Kelvin and Discovery never happened.
Well, it's the future,
or
so
their
you
own
don't
thing.
need to reference them because it's the future.
Yeah, but they will. I have a feeling with Kurtzman they're going to do it.
Well, we've got to hope that the new head of CBS likes Prime Trek. Because imagine if he was a TOS Trekkie fan, and he never really got into the later ones as much, but he always liked them with his family, and they were always good. And he's like, JJ movies don't have the same spirit as TOS. Let's go back to real morals, real messages, real stories. Let's make a new show about that. That's all you have to say. That's the Gene Roddenberry approach. Bring that back.
I just don't know how much faith I have in Kurtzman to not screw it up. I'm hoping, I'm praying, and I they need to realize what the fans are saying and fix it. Um, Cameron Lowe, $10.
Oh my god, thank you. Amazing.
Love exactly. Love the game print ship. Just got my 12-inch Defiant class today. Posted some
Wow.
pics in the Facebook group. Might order another. Well, I am going to be ordering another. I want to get one of the bigger
Wow.
ones. This is fantastic. This is above and beyond what I thought. There we go. Hey, it zoomed in.
Ah.
So you can see the detail on it.
Has it got
There is.
shadowing?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
there is a flaw in it right there. There's a bubble in the cast, but I'm a model maker, so I'll just fix that. That's not a problem. And my one strut, by my own fault, broke off, so I fixed that.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's a fantastic little. It's glorious. It's way better than I anticipated. So I'm going to be getting a bigger one because I just wanted to see if it was worth the money, and it clearly is. I don't know if my camera was going to refocus, but so yeah. Mike T, $5.
Thank you.
Today is the last day to buy your Trekyards shirt. I'd love to buy one, but I need a 3XL size or shirt. Any hope for us big and tall guys in the future? Yeah, we're going to be looking into options for that. I don't know why this is not focusing. It focused on the ship, and now won't focus back on anything else. Yes, we'll try to get bigger size shirts, but come on. Oh, we just got another one. Jason Link, $5.
Thank you.
Did either of you buy Star Trek Online Collector's Edition? Yes, I have that. Sylvia bought it for me back in the early days. And were you just as pissed as I was when the CE items in the C store were you just as pissed? I can't read.
Except the red matter device.
Yes. I don't remember being pissed. But yeah, I got the special edition with the little book with the art and the little pin and.
I've still got a shirt in its plastic still.
Oh, cool.
And I do actually have the red matter. I actually have two red matters because I got one on both characters.
Yeah, I got two as well. Yeah.
They're pretty useful. I haven't played that game in a long old time.
Well, I might do a live stream of it during the week.
Well, you should start a new character. I mean, it'd be fun to see the new.
I don't want to start from the beginning.
Well, do you remember how to play it? Because you got to be able to play good. Yeah. That's the point.
I remember. Okay. Don't worry. I just want to show off my ships and stuff in the live. I think it'll be really fun. You know what I mean?
I saw an interesting from Critical Caillou, I think. We need to radically change something with an established fan base to bring in new fans. Genius TV people. Yeah. I mean, I equate this to Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica was radically different to Battlestar Galactica. And wasn't...
But it's such a... They pay homage to so many things in that, and I think treat it properly. They respect the old. Well, and that's what you need to do.
Well, the thing about Battlestar Galactica versus Battlestar Galactica is that Battlestar Galactica, the new one, is a very, very good show. That's the fundamental. If it's a good show, which makes radical changes, you can appreciate it more. You might not like it compared to the old one because you're a fan of the old one, but you can't ignore the good writing, the good CGI, well, the great CGI, like the good things. Discovery is not a very good show, which means, if it succeeded beyond Wildest Dreams, we'd be like, okay, it's a visual reboot, but at least it's a really good show. It's like the Orville. If the Orville was a TNG, future show, we'd be like, wow, weird aesthetic for Star Trek, but it's a good show though, so I buy it. Yeah. We move on, But yeah, so PSG was good, and it wasn't trying to be the old one. It was trying to be its own thing, very much so its own thing. But as you say, they took what the old designs were, they took the shape of all the old, and they made a new. But as they went on, they actually made more and more things similar to the old in a sense. And I do think the new Vipers are better. The old Viper, I think the Pegasus is better than the old Galactica. I don't think the new Galactica is better than the old Galactica, but I think the Pegasus is better than the Galactica. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because the Pegasus is like the apex of cool.
Actually, I was just having this discussion earlier today, talking about the intro, the opening for Star Trek or for Battlestar Galactica. I hate the new one with a passion.
I hate the music. The entire sequence.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hate the new one with a passion. The old one was it had that epic narration, and then that build up, and then the dun 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 dun, dun, and it actually got you pumped for the show.
Yeah.
The new one is so morose and just you need something better for the
Well,
intro.
yeah, but it reflects it reflects the theme. I mean, one is, well, think about it this way: the new BSG, it's a genocide of the human race. You felt it. BSG
So was the original
1964. It's a genocide of our human race. We're gonna fly and have some fun. Everyone died. All my family. Yay, yay, yay! No more birthday cakes.
No. They're just trying to
We're all
capitalize.
dead. Oh my god.
They're just trying to capitalize on the Star Wars theme.
Well,
and the
exactly.
Star Wars.
So it wasn't there for creative reasons. It was there because of la la. But you know what I mean? Like, whereas, so I agree, it's not like the best thing ever, but it really like makes you think,
It's
oh,
awful. It's not. Yeah, it's just awful. John Harrison,
John
God.
Harrison. Thank you.
£10 donation. Hey guys, battle scenario for you
Yes.
for you. Take 10 Stargate
And hold on,
Atlantis
hold on,
Europa
Stuart.
class ships.
Guys, you can ask any questions about anything. Don't just about our topic. Any question, throw us out a super
Exactly.
chat, and we'll
Yeah.
answer any question. So sorry, say it again.
Stop interrupting me.
I'm just saying for those out there.
Hey guys, battle scenario for you. Take 10 Stargate Atlantis Aurora class ships at full strength, crew and jumpers and drones, and pit them against 10 TOS ships, one of each design. Go ahead. I can't because I have no clue what the hell you're talking
And
about.
there aren't 10 TOS ships. There are 3, and one's a space station. If you mean Discovery ships, then they have unknown power levels. Aurora.
Well, I think he means like Saladin and
Well,
Federation
well.
class and side cannon stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what the Aurora class is or the drones.
We already looked at it. It's the ancient battleship, the big red one that was boxy but in a cool way. And red.
Sorry, I feel naive. You
Um,
can answer this question then.
Okay. Well, I mean, instantly drones win because they go through shields. And so straight away you hit, as we know, as they are designed to be. If shields are down, any Trek ship is easy picking, because you're meant to have shields on. Because these ships aren't designed for war. You know, the Enterprise D isn't designed to fight ships. The Defiant is designed to fight ships, and it's got a blade of armor, very small maneuverable, very good weapons. The D is not any of those things, uniquely. So it's designed for doing exploration. Happens to be a fight as well. So you take the Aurora, a warship with going through shields, weapons, and powerful shields. I think the Auroras win hands down, because all they have to do is stay out of phaser range. I mean, torpedoes, fair enough, and just launch drones, and they can pretty much. I mean, we saw what the drone ships could do and beyond. Rip through the neck of the ship very effectively, and drones are even more powerful because they explode. Yeah, I think good thing there. But John, sorry, John, you got to do a better one, because Aurora's win hands down on that one. Yeah, sorry.
That's a cool question, though. I love questions like that. So
Versus
you
questions.
guys can
Give
think
them
of
to us.
any more.
Yeah, we'll take them.
Going back to the Battlestar Galactica thing, I think they treated the old one with reverence, and you can see it. They bring back the old designs, and apparently that theme song is somewhere in the show as well. I haven't watched all the new Battlestar Galactica, so. Anyway.
Yes.
Jason Link, $2. Money of Star Trek Online 3D ships is this good for CBS and Trek? How much did this cost?
Guess so. Yeah.
I think he's asking. I think it's like this was $20.
Oh, is that it?
Well, it's like 34 or something after tax and all.
That's Canadian or
conversion.
American?
That's Canadian, I believe.
That's not a lot. How big is that? Like 2 3 inches?
What?
How big is the ship? 'Cause that's not bad.
It's like, I don't know, like
Oh wow.
2.5, 3 inches.
I mean, it's a simple 3D print, but it's a pretty good paint job.
But it's cool because these aren't flimsy or brittle at all. The nacelles actually have give. They're like a rubber, so it's awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. And is this good for CBS? I think it is, because he's, as we said earlier, he's been on record saying he despises sci-fi. So. And no, it's not a Shapeways print. This is from a company called GamePrint and Mixed Dimensions. You have to go through the Star Trek Online
Yep.
order process to get these. But they printed exactly like your ship in game, registry
Cool.
number,
Very
all
cool.
the details. Yeah, everything you've
Are you
customized in your
getting
ship.
a because for that size is pretty good. Are you getting a Thunder, the big Manticore? Are you getting Manticore?
I want to get a Manticore. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there's online galleries where you can select ships that aren't yours
Yeah.
to get printed. Because I don't have a Manticore, I would love one. But I have somebody inside Cryptic who said that they would be able to print one for me, so or allow me to use their model.
I had
You
an
know,
idea while you're saying that. Let me write that down.
you do that, and it's true. If you do not donate money, you can write whatever you want. Yes. Neff, €5. My dream council in charge of Star Trek: Ira Bear, Doug Drexler, Ron Moore, the Okudas, the Reeve Stevens, Seth MacFarlane, Brandon Braga, Manny Kodo, Rick Sternbach. Let's bring them all back. John Eves. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Neff.
But speaking of the BSG theme, it was used as a stirring piece for a documentary inside the show.
That's
as like
cool.
a ceremony. Like, this fleet is now trying to save everyone, and then also right at the end as well as like a. So it was very poignant, and it was a very nice version of it. It was really like sweet,
That's cool.
less actiony, more like beautiful.
Yeah, I just prefer the narration and stuff at the beginning of that. It tells the story pretty
It does.
beautifully each time.
Although you should Google this now. Actually, you should Google this now. Remember Adam Mojo Lebowitz?
Yes, of course I do.
On the very last days of BSG, apparently he cornered in a nice way Edward James Olmos, who plays Captain Adama or Admiral Adama, and got him to record the same voiceover dialogue the original guy had.
Did he?
And he then made the sequence in Lightwave. So if you Google Mojo custom Battlestar Galactica opening, it's basically the exact same thing, and it is absolutely wonderful. So have a look at that now. And I will, Neff, yeah, you said Ira Bear, Doug Drexler, Ron Moore, and Nikuda's Reeve Stevens. Reeve Stevens would be a good choice. Seth MacFarlane that'd be a good choice. Brandon Braga. See, that's just all the old guard, which makes sense. I think Seth MacFarlane's a good choice because he can bring a lot of humor into it. But if you gave Seth real Trek, he wouldn't want to push it as far, but still bring a lot of that really interesting humor to it. Doug would be obviously good because he'd be good to try and give him updating TOS would be interesting. The Kudas, obviously, just in every respect, they'd be great. Ron Moore, sure. Ira Stephen Baird is an interesting one because he loves DS9, because he worked on DS9, but he doesn't really care much about the other shows. Yeah, it's his baby. He only is really invested in that because he put 7 years of work into it. I think he said while he was making DS9, he didn't actually watch the other shows.
Yeah, and that's interesting because Deep Space Nine is very much its own thing.
Well, exactly.
Just gotta jump in there.
Well, he said he felt good that Voyager was getting all the daddy's attention, all the family attention, parents' attention. He was allowed to do his own thing because they weren't quite as DS9. Who cares? It's a space station, whatever. So because they were, he was able to do his own thing and got the show he wanted to get. Yeah. Did you find it?
Yeah, it's really amazing actually.
Yep. It's just
Yeah.
what you expect. I mean, it wouldn't have been a very
I'll have
interesting start, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So John Harrison, £5. Wraith Hive ship versus Galaxy X Dreadnought. Galaxy X Dreadnought, 'cause it can slice through.
Yeah, that's a
ship's pretty easy with that phaser lance.
Yeah, the problem is, John, when you give any ship one big advantage, like going through shields weapons or massive phaser beam lance thing, if that could rip through the hive ship in one beam, like the ancient satellite weapon could at the end of the start of Atlantis, at the end of season 1, instantly you've got an advantage there. Well, the hive ship would be very powerful with its amount of weapons, but I don't think it would have the tide. If you threw darts in, the nice thing about and I think you'll agree, Stuart, the nice thing about fighters in a harsh way is that if you were to throw 200 fighters against a Star Trek ship, even if they were like moths and not able to do much damage, the Enterprise would just have to fire at them, so it'd waste time, where the big ship is able to launch its big cannons on you. You know, like would the Enterprise avoid 200 fighters shooting constantly, or would it waste its phaser emitters and its torpedoes and give the big ship time just to unload a lot more power? Or would it focus on the big ship and then be attacked by the Nats? Like, what play makes more sense?
Question.
Yeah.
That's a good question, because with the fighters you can attack from multiple attack vectors and hit multiple shields, and that's
all of the shields in 200 ships, or with, I mean, you could probably cut by 1,000. I mean, we saw what the Equinox aliens did. I mean, enough small bombardments just bring the shields down, plus the big weapons. I mean, especially if you can imagine they're all shooting the same shield vector as the big ship. I mean, I think that'd be pretty powerful.
You got to think too, though. You'd want to attack the big ship because that's the mothership for those fighters. So if you take that out, then you can take your time with the fighters, but at the same time they're attacking the whole time. So
if your shields are down, though, once your shields are down, so what would you do? Would you attack the 200 fighters? Because they've still got energy weapons, so I assume they've got about the same powers as shuttlecraft.
I'd screw everybody, and I'd warp right through the big ship. That way, they don't have a home base to go back to. The explosion's going to take out a bunch of the fighters. I didn't lose because I didn't get fired. I quit. So that's my solution. The Foley maneuver.
And you didn't wait 9 movies to invent it like Holdo did. You just used it straight away.
We've been saying warp into things since the beginning of Trekyards. Before that was a thing in The Last Jedi.
I wonder, did we comment on that in our Death Star episode? Why they just ram a big ship into it?
Might have. I think we might have.
Because we know the Executor didn't do much exploding against the Death Star 2. That's because it exploded from the inside. If it self-destructed, there's a difference between a warp core explosion versus a self-destruct, isn't there? Like a controlled, we're blowing up, versus we are exploding all of our antimatter. Like you can shoot a nuke, it explodes, or you can activate a nuclear warhead explosion. They're different.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we gotta address another super chat.
Goodness, thank you.
Michael Madden, $5. Q played by Gavin McGinnis. Who is Gavin McGinnis? I gotta look that up.
He's an interesting, quote unquote, interesting online comedian, writer. Some pretty strong views. Interesting to listen to if you want to be like, wow, really? Huh. Oh, and they're not afraid to be sexist, sort of.
And I don't know who he is by looking at him, so sorry.
I
feel like I'm in a bubble here.
Canadian, though. Well, we like nice people and nice things, don't we? So we don't, actually look out for negative things.
I like you, and you're not so nice all the time.
Thanks, ma'am.
Oh shit, we're live.
We are non-editable as well. This is it. This is true. Non-super chat question. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I'm just playing with my model. So.
You are allowed to. No. Question, sort of. What about George Lucas directing a Star Trek something? Okay, first of all, move your TV series, and let's talk about it for a minute.
I don't like tribbles. They're soft and fluffy, and they replicate like crazy. I don't know. I think
they eat all my food. I like my food.
I think it'd be pretty wooden dialogue. Yeah. I don't know. That's one thing that can be said about the prequels is they feel George Lucas. I miss that in the new movies, and it's kind of sad. I don't know, man. It'd be interesting to see for sure, but I honestly don't know how it would be.
Well, I love one of the memes online. It has George and Gene in the same room, and George is thanking Gene because it's like without Star Trek, I wouldn't have had Star Wars.
And without Star Wars, we wouldn't have the Star Trek movies. Yeah. So they owe a lot to each other. So yes,
which is great. It shouldn't be as much a rivalry, because you should be fans of both. They're both great, and they both had rocky times, more recently. Yes. Yeah, well, it's interesting. You want to double compare it. The prequels were not very good films, like as an overall, but they had some really cool bits, and certainly the CGI was incredible at the time. The miniatures were incredible at the time,
and they felt Star Wars. They felt like George Lucas's,
and they were building the story, which was nice. Same thing. We got Enterprise, not a very good show, but certainly felt Star Trek, and was very faithful to what it was trying to do. Then we had then we I guess we had Force Awakens, and we had Beyond, both sort of more shooty gunny, but still reasonably faithful to the sort of subject material, but with some weak bits. And then we had Last Jedi and Discovery. It's like, oh. Although definitely
Yeah.
Last Jedi is worse than Discovery. I certainly give Discovery more kudos.
Michael Madden, $2. One is fantasy, one is real. Fantasy being Star Wars, real being Star Trek.
Hey, I've walked around with Stormtroopers before, so I mean, have you? I mean, I have a couple of times.
I know what he means, though.
Yeah, one's a thing, one's a philosophy of life. I'd be interested to know, like, if Dad said on the stream yesterday, I was showing Star Trek at 3 before I could, before my first words were properly out, before I was really talking, or wherever that was.
You still can't properly talk.
Thanks, man.
Talking about.
It's so nice to me. But I think if you watch Star Trek, you see everyone as equal. You see heroes as good and doing the right thing as good. You see not being mean to people as good. But you do see riffing and having a bond with someone is important. McCoy is mean to Spock, but you sense the context, and it's friendship.
Yeah.
You also see people at their lowest, like Spock losing his emotional barriers, but then you see him at their strongest. You see this whole plethora. It's one of the best shows ever done. TOS. So then, when you're growing up, you have all this as the baseline. You know what I mean? Why would you see the world any differently than everyone's equal and everyone? You know what I mean? So if Star Trek wasn't around, I think it'd be a lot more worse people.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are still people, bad people are still bad people, good people are still good people. But I mean, thinking of Trek as a good moral system is a really good system, because it was just an optimistic, idealized version of the future where everyone gets along.
Spock said it, and there is no truth in beauty. It's our differences that make us unique and special and come together to make something beautiful. So,
yeah.
Hikamovic, sorry if I said that wrong. €2. Metamorphs in the Picard show. Do you like this? The Metamorphs. Remember the Metamorphs? Or the Metamorph in the episode? What's her name? The actress's. She plays Jean Grey in the X-Men movies. The Metamorph. When they come out of the cocoon, they bond with the male.
I mean, it's fine. I think I have no memories of it specifically. It never stopped me.
It's a good episode. And
Is it?
Yeah. Are you asking if he should be married to one, or her? Like, go hunt her down?
Or if it's good messages and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Michael Madden. Everyone here has a responsibility to promote Trekyards and the like. Well, I thank you, sir. Femke Jansen, that's her name. Thank you, Furious Fawns.
Way back tech, I think the prequels had the best Jedi fight scenes.
Absolutely.
See, it's interesting. Have you watched Last Jedi since it was in cinema?
Yes.
Okay.
I have it in 3D Blu-ray.
Yes, I'm trying not
to. 3D.
I'm trying not to buy it because I'm supporting it, but I'm gonna have to. So I want to watch the 4K Blu-ray stuff. You shouldn't support bad movies that you don't like. It's difficult, but I want to see the features. But if you, what did you think of that Praetorian fight? Then, now you've seen it more.
It was very choreographed. I noticed that the first time I watched it, it was awfully done. You'd watch her block and then look back to him, and then you could see it was very awkwardly done. I do sword fighting, so I know how to choreograph a fight, and you could see that was, while visually stunning, there were mistakes in it, and it was very clumsily done, in my opinion. Nothing like the prequels at all. The prequels were fantastic. They were fast. They were furious, without the cars.
What was the?
And
well, that's the thing. If you look at, I do think the lightsaber fight in Force Awakens is pretty good at the end. It's very visceral. It's very alive. It's not a very interesting fight because there's no fighting really, but it's a very, you feel it. It's a character-based scene, not an action-based scene. If that makes sense?
Yep, absolutely.
I know people do complain in the prequels that it's like action reaction. It's a dance. But
Mhm.
if you've been trained for 20 years in lightsaber fighting,
There's a saying in the sword fighting community: if a sword fight lasts more than 30 seconds, you've lost because the guy you're fighting against is just as good as you or better.
yeah,
A sword fight should be boom, boom, dead, or
yeah,
knock on the head, dead. It shouldn't. If it's more than 30 seconds, you're pretty much boned.
that's
That's what
interesting.
happens.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
and I've played a lot of the games, I've read a lot of the books, so I have a sort of a greater feel of it. And there's a really interesting one where it was, I think it was Darth Bane, the Darth Bane book. Really, really good book. And he goes from Jedi to Sith. He goes to the Sith Academy, and he's this big guy, and he's learning these. A few years ago, but he's trying to learn these forms, but he masters each form because like 9 forms of lightsaber combat. He masters each one, and to the point where he literally makes his own style of them all together. And when fighting a fight, it's the better learner of each style fighting until one
Hmm.
makes a mistake. But his new form lets him swap styles on the go, and so the opponent now has to counter alternate things he's not as well trained against. So it's a
Yeah.
smooth, you're because it's like chess, action reaction. Well, his lightsaber is going to be there next because he's doing a swerve. Stop it! Now I'm doing a move. Now you're doing a move, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't be as that makes a lot of sense to me. And using the force to sense what they're going to do. I mean, come on, you've got this precognition as well, so it's going to be action reaction action reaction.
Well, there was just a comment a second ago by Good Old Gamer that said that's the point because lightsaber training and techniques were lost because of Order 66. All the masters died.
Yeah.
That's why in Star Wars it's just yeah. Anakin has that knowledge, but he's not going to go full on Luke. It'd be like dead. All right, moving along. He
Well,
knows that he's strong in the Force. He could probably be turned at some point. He can sense that, so he's going to do the slower fighting. Although why Ben and Darth Vader didn't get into it a little bit better.
Well, I don't have any problem with the episode 4, and if you watch the Red Letter Media, we did an episode with them, looking at that video, they say the episode 4 was still a good fight because it's the character, it's passionate, it's obviously the first one, it was very blah, blah, blah. But I mean, think about what happened to Vader. He lost his arms and his legs, and he's in a suit that's constant pain.
Mm-hmm.
He can't do what he used to be able to do, and
And Ben's just an old man who lives
Yeah.
on a dry desert planet and
rusty as
has
anything. Yeah.
has sand in his clothes and it's rough and
hates sand
coarse
now.
and it gets in everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, Madison Knight,
Oh.
$2 or £2 donation. Thank you.
you.
No question. Just keep up the
Oh.
great work. Well, thank you. We'll try.
Thank you.
We'll try.
So I have no problem with that fight because they're, and also it's a delay fight, so Ben's just blocking, just stopping. There's not. They're old warriors because in Star Wars there isn't a sense that they can live beyond like 100. Humans,
Yeah.
you can live through the Force, but
It's not like Star Trek where it's
Yeah.
like technology has made you live to 137 or whatever.
yeah, I'm
So-
sure. Obviously, aliens can, but they're aliens, so they're just old guys at that point. I mean, what does Vader do most of the time? He chokes people. He uses what he can to do what he can. And then obviously in Empire, he doesn't want to kill his son. Why would he? He has other motives, especially as his wife's dead and all that jazz. Again, stupidest plot twist ever. She died of a broken heart
It happens in a galaxy far, far away.
with advanced
Long
medical
time ago.
technology. Sure.
Anyway,
That
since
was-
this is near the end, we got 7 minutes
Stupid.
left. We're just going to recap the
Yes.
topic of the discussion.
So let us know in Super Chat if you have anything. Talk about Les Moonves. We will comment on that.
Yes.
137 bones was Jason. Sorry, Stuart. Okay.
Les Moonves got shit canned or retired or forced out of CBS because of allegations of sexual misconduct, multiple ones. And is this good for Star Trek? Could be. Hopefully, he's been on record saying he despises sci-fi. So I don't know. Take it for what it is. Hopefully, somebody that gets in charge or takes his place doesn't. It could backlash on us. It really could. They could look at the Star Trek Discovery going, it's not doing so great, and look at all the negative reactions from fans online. Maybe we should just stop this and stop Star Trek altogether, not just Discovery. It could backfire that way, or it could also be really good for us by having somebody that really appreciates the franchise or recognize a good moneymaker and put effort into it a little bit more than they have, perhaps. So it could be good or bad. But anyway, we just wanted to bring that to you guys and talk to you guys in this live stream. So,
And I did just read a comment on our Facebook links to this chat or this live that Moonves is quoted saying he didn't know the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek.
yeah, I've heard that as well, and that's
We haven't mentioned yet, so I was worth saying. That's pretty hefty.
I have friends who are wives of friends that are the same way. Well, it's that Star Wars, that Spock guy. It's like, are you look, seriously? Stop it! It's not that difficult to tell them apart. But anyway, what do I know?
Yeah, I mean they both got Star on the title, but that really is the only similarity. Seriously, one is set thousands of years ago in a different galaxy. One is set in the future of our planet. One has got wizards. One has got not wizards. I mean,
Yes,
you know,
Jonathan Frakes for head and CEO. That'd be awesome. Get Frakes in there, sure.
Yeah, good guy. I mean, ignore what's it called? His awful film, the Thunderbirds. I'll go. That was not a good movie.
He directed that?
Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't get another movie with Trek afterwards, because they didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
That's new to me. I didn't know that.
But I'm pretty sure there's more reasons to why that sucked than just him.
Maybe that's Patrick Stewart's new job. That's the new show. He's going to be head of CBS.
A new reality TV show.
And they're going to do a reality TV show. Yeah. Making Trek with Picard.
Yeah, he's in character the entire time. Well,
let's fix this shit.
I've come back several hundred years to fix a television program featuring me, Captain Picard. I'm 74. But in Star Trek years, I'm only middle-aged. But yeah, yeah. I read an article about Moonves, and he said in his tenure, CBS did thrive as a company, and he was there for 25 years. And we are looking at it from a very small subsect. You know, he might have hated sci-fi, but he loved crime dramas. And oh, look, amazing crime dramas. Or he loved movies.
He loved money, and he knew Star Trek was a moneymaker historically, so.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. This is what we said before. Do you make content for people or for fans? In the sense of, do you make content that people want to watch? Just people, as a broader people, or just watch that the thousands of Trekyards fans want to watch that's super niche, super, like, no offense to either of us, but if I did a ship and you've done a ship, if we did an episode on our ship, it would get less views than the Enterprise refit episode, because one's for Trekyards fans, although I think both would be good designed, la 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 la, it's slightly more niche, but yeah, what was my point? I don't know what my point was. This happens occasionally. I lose my train of thought in episodes.
It happens to all the best of us.
Cut, edit.
Well, while you're thinking, there's another super chat, $5 from Sakadra Course. I know you guys are really busy. Please write John B. back about his 3D model for story. Would love to work with you on that if you have the time. I'm missing something. Who's John B?
Well, we've had a couple of inquiries about originals and such, but I have not had time to deal with those because, everything going on.
Okay.
But we know. But it's one of the things that when we have a slot in the schedule.
Yes, we still have a few originals that haven't been filmed yet. So
yes, but the Klingon chap hasn't got back in contact. But waiting for him. Justin is out very, very soon. The army guy, I assume, is out of contact. The ship's basically done. Yep.
Yep.
And 2 more people. I should just send you their emails because you could chat to me. We know the deals. It'd be good because then it goes straight to Stuart booking a session. We talk on Skype. We work out the details. Then we make the episode because we love doing originals. They're a lot of fun.
I am not a Nugget Blackheart. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. And it's about time. It's 1 hour and 59 minutes. I'm going to cut the show for 2 hours. So
okay, so the last goal then is $20 more in Super Chat, and then we can go. That's the goal, guys.
Jeez. No, I got to get going soon.
Well, we've got $5 right there. So there you go. $15 more.
$5 right there. Luke9511. $5 Captain. Greetings, Captain and Commander.
Hello.
Next next time you are at DS9, I'll buy you a drink at Quarks. That sounds beautiful.
What
Thank you very
sort of
much.
drink though? Is this any sort of drink from the Repromat? Like, is this all holds bar Repromat? Like anything, any setting? Because
I'll
Quark's
take
got.
a prune juice.
I was gonna say.
Double sweet, double strong.
I was gonna say
Really
absinthe.
mix it up.
I was
Really
gonna.
mix it
I
up.
was gonna say space absinthe, but I feel like I can't now because you're doing tea. slight, slight wrong ratio there. Okay, well, while I wait for those $15 more, what do you hope best
Ten
case?
more dollars. More
Oh,
dollars. You said the five above this was the
but I said 10.
counted towards the 20.
Yes, it's 50.
Before that one came in, you said, well, there's five there, and then the five came in.
No, that was no,
There you
that
go.
was the five. That we're seeing things at a different time. Luke was the five.
Fine.
So $15 more. But what do you hope realistically from a new leader might do? Because there's a difference in what Hope would do and like given how many people not like Star Trek, what do you think realistically might be the next step? Now that the guy making or at least being the final notch in the chain, because he's not necessarily in charge. Oh, not angry Nuggets, fine. Thanks anyway. Um, I hate this more, please. Yes, we'll have some green.
Well,
Oh, if I design a ship, will you guys talk about it? Raccoon Media. Yes, email trekyards@hotmail.com. We have several packages to talk about the show on the ship on the show.
yeah. Email us.
Yes.
I'm pulling rank. We started 10 minutes late. I got to get going. So
I can keep going for those 10 minutes. Like, I can just say bye to you. And
if you want, sure. I got to go, guys.
Okay,
I
let
love
me
you
let me
all.
just add the webcam as a separate thing because I have to do that. Well, let's see if that works. I don't know. I'll make it work. You still hear the audio. Okay, so Stuart's gonna bow out. I'll have
Bye, guys.
after chat. Bye, Stuart. We love you.
I love you
Talk to you
too.
soon. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
Okay, so that's that. Listen to the Divergent soundtrack, I guess. But I really want to quit Skype and then be able to put in the other webcam because I like talking to you guys. It's fun. There I am in all my HD glory. See, there we go. That was a quick transition, wasn't it? I like talking to you guys. Yeah, so I'm still there. See, there you go. That was quick. So yeah, another couple of minutes, guys, just to chat to you all, because I'm a man of my word, and $15 and I can leave and go back to something what I was doing. Another from Tim Theo, $5, thank you. 10 more, any question you want. It's really hot in here, by the way. Would you want to see a more fantasy version of Star Trek, perhaps a story where a deep exploration ship ventures where physics don't apply? Yeah. I mean, fantasy's interesting because come on in HD, thanks. Fantasy's interesting because it's all relative. I mean, Star Trek went religious when we had DS9 in a sense, and we had mystic with Chakotay's people in Voyager. I think you need to have the core of the Trek, the core of the sci-fi, the core of what made Trek good, to be able to resonate with the fans and the sci-fi aspect. But fantasy, I mean, if you wanted to have a crossover with Space Wizards, in a sense that was mystic, but then by the end of the show we worked out it was talking to another dimension, because you can science-ify anything. Would be interesting. I mean, actually, okay, I'll pitch you the story there. Sorry, who was it? The comment? Oh, it's Tim. Yeah, I'll pitch you the story. Pitch you the story. So, post Voyager, and a ship, let's say a Nova class, is flying through space, and suddenly a big space rip opens, and we see a ship come through, and all of a sudden it starts lighting up, and the Nova class just disappears. And we cut on board the ship, and they say, "Ah, the magic has worked!" And they're all waving their hands and doing wand things, and it's all about the space wizardiness. And then you work out it's just dimensional phase shifting, all that jazz. But you have a sort of a fun flair. Could be interesting. It's all about the stories, all about the characters. But yeah, that was a long one. The Irish. What is the ship on the front of the Defiant? Behind you. Defiant. That is the Icarus from Star Trek Renegades, and then Renegades Requiem. Cool design, designed by Scott Nakada. We have done a mission briefing on it. It's a cool design, really interesting backstory. Go have a look. Square Course, thanks, $5. Thank you. Thanks for letting us know about the fan ship designs. Don't mind waiting, just hadn't heard anything back and was not sure what the process is. I'll tell you what, I know we have 3 people that are in different levels of wanting it, so re-email so we know which one you were. Because you're all sort of on the list, but what I'll do is if you email us again, just reply to the same email, that'll refresh. I'll forward that straight to Stuart, and he can get in contact with you directly about the plans. I know I already worked out the deals with all of you, so yeah, just re-email so we know you're following back up. Another $5 from Victor Garcia. Are there any more pin-up shirts? If so, can I get a link? Yes, there absolutely are. It is limited, but we're not at that amount yet. I need to find the link now. Stuart did post a link and actually posted it in the Skype, didn't he? You see the Renegades teaser. It's funny, I probably go on social media is that people want to talk to you. Stuart sent the link, it's Everpress. And it's the Trekyards pinup shirt, everpress.com/Trekyards pinup shirt. Let me put it in the chat. I think you can do that in the chat. But yes, plenty of them available. Wow, I've got lots of windows up. Wow, where am I even going? I'm lost. Okay, it's just this, but then add the... There you go. Thanks, sorry. Confusing when I'm the only person doing it. Jason Lix, love Renegades, or Renegaffs. Didn't they change from Star Trek after the lawsuits? No, after the guidelines. They chose to remove all the Star Trek elements, so they could hopefully make stuff out of it in the future, and we will see how that goes. I certainly liked it more as Renegades, the Trek. It had more to it. It was a great pilot, not a great movie episode, in my opinion. And having worked on Renegades in the behind-the-scenes department, I took over that. I ended up doing 3.5 hours of special features, which was a real pleasure to do. I talked to the entire team. It's some really, really cool content I'm very proud of. And we worked with them to get models to look at in the show. So do expect when we have time the full Renegade catalogue to be back. Because there's some really excellent designs. And actually, guys, I can finally reveal this when I talk about it. If you guys are fans of Star Trek Renegades, the specifically Star Trek branded, then we in fact... I should say, search on YouTube Convergence Star Trek. If you do that, you come up with Convergence, a Star Trek fan film by Power 543 Fan Films. That's me. Teaser 1 is our one with the Intrepid fan film. Teaser 2 is the one with the Dark Armada fan film. And Teaser 3 is the one with the Renegades fan film. So, Renegades is actually back. I'm an official spin-off, prequel, continuation. And it's really, really nice to be able to say that finally on a live. And still 149 people, so that's amazing. So for my Convergence fan film, it's a crossover story between 5 different productions. They're all now revealed. So it's Intrepid, which was started in the mid-2000s, Dark Armada, mid-2000s, Renegades, as I said, Temporal Anomaly, my own fan film, and Starship Republic, the original Stage 9, which is now the new Continues group, their original production, and they're all involved, and I'm really excited. I wrote it, I did all the things, direct, wrote, green screen, a lot of fun, and I knew, having worked on Renegades, having known the team, and how much passion, true passion went into it, I wanted to incorporate it into the crossover event. So I wrote the Siphons, the big blue guys, as the villains of Convergence, and I included the same class of ship as the USS Archer to be in this film as the USS Columbia, a ship from the future. Not that far in the future, but a little bit far in the future. And that's Renegades is back. You'll see these ships fighting again alongside each other. You didn't get to see canon ships in Renegades because reasons, I don't know, because the future. We're slightly closer to the prime timer and slightly closer to TNG, so we're going to see the Intrepid class. We're going to see the Nova class. We're going to really enjoy, hopefully, seeing all those guys back again, and yeah, see some renegades back, and hopefully the Siphon's even more powerful, dramatic, strong. Because in Renegades they only got, and the live action people got some great stuff, but the ships only got like a minute between them. We have a lot more than a minute of them on screen in Convergence. A lot more. That you'll see. Remember, guys, $5 more on Super Chat, and I can go. So it's a bittersweet thing, but please do support the channel if you can. It'd be great to get a couple of Super Chats right at the end here to end the night. We do these things to support Trekyards. We do multiple videos a week for you for free. Some amazing, over 100 people on Patreon support us, which is the backbone. YouTube ad revenue has been very depressing recently. When you see it go down month after month, and that is your livelihood, that is what you use to support yourself, you do think, well, can I even anymore? And it'd be a shame if Trekyards either had to stop or had to go down to like once a week, once a fortnight. Because if it did, we all know that you wouldn't tune in as much because you can't tune in as much, and we think that'd be a shame given the amount of connections we have, events we want to go to. So we need to raise money each week, each month, and these super chats are absolutely the best way to keep this channel going, and help us get to Discovery Season 2, Orville Season 2, other movies, go to more events and such. This super chats are now a third pillar of this channel, and so literally any dollar is absolutely amazing. And Mike T did say, have a great weekend, Commander. Thank you. And Jason Link usually doesn't even tell me when you're live anymore. Sorry I talk quickly. Yeah, YouTube is a problem because algorithms change and algorithms affect things, and we think that we are not being highlighted. A lot of other channels that do a lot less specialized content are getting boosted. We are not getting boosted. As he said, some people don't even get notified. So that's a shame because we have over 30,000 subscribers. We would assume that 10% might want to join in a live with us, and if 1,000 people watch, we get enough super chats to support ourselves well, and do even more, because that is the backbone of what we do. If we can't support ourselves via the channel, got to find other employment. And if you find other employment, you can't spend the hours on the content. If you can't spend the hours on the content doesn't get made. It is that easy, that simple. So thank you for the $5. That does make a huge difference. The command talking quickly, never noticed. Yeah, I know, I do. I'll just answer some of the brief talk about fan films for a minute, and then I'll stop because you know what, it's fun. Love Star Trek continues. Yes. Where can we see Temporal Anomaly? Well, tomorrow a Temporal Anomaly teaser comes out, Tim. Just because the CBS ruling, I had a conversation with them, and I had to get a whole new original soundtrack to it, which, as you can imagine, takes a while to produce. Hey, that's funny. Unofficial AI, who was in the super chat, to subscribe to Power 5 fan films. Thanks, Unofficial AI. You'll enjoy Convergence for sure. What should I search for again? Yeah, I noticed. Thank you. That's awesome. I hope you like the teasers. Let Unofficial AI, I'm going to stay on until you let me know what you think of the 3 teasers. If you search Convergence, a Star Trek fan film, watch the 3 teasers and let me know what you think of my VFX teasers with voiceovers from our leads about Convergence. Really excited about this production. Really, really excited. It's going to be, I'm not going to say the best thing ever, because it isn't going to be the best thing ever, but it's going to be really fun, that Trek fans want, because I'm a really hardcore Trek fan, as you know. And I think I have a good understanding of what you want to see, like the hardcore Trek community. It'll have canon ships and new ships, canon costumes, characters with moral decisions, with a strong moral compass. That's really important. An arc, but something that it doesn't interfere with the story, because the story should also be important. And a good mix of action, character, and quiet moments, because that's quite important too. Love the Costa Renegades, wish they came back. Trekyards, are you still doing on and on in one unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so no one has a chance to interrupt? It was really quite hypnotic. There you go. How do you feel, Stuart? I just did the quote. He talks efficiently, yes. You guys do. Can you guys do your own adverts on YouTube to help advertise yourselves? Yes, but it would be more money to advertise on YouTube than we would get from YouTube in a while. They're quite expensive. So it's like we have to do Indiegogo just to raise enough funds to do that because we don't earn enough. Like everything we make goes towards supporting ourselves to keep making the show, and so if we put in that money, it's a thing. But nothing from AI. I guess he's watching the teasers. But thanks, guys. We did get the $20 finally, Stuart, and as you know, Stuart, $20 actually makes a huge difference in the pots. That was really awesome to see, and really nice to be supported. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to briefly, because there's a couple of you left, and hopefully I was interesting. I am going to play my Renegades Convergence teaser, and don't worry, I'm not going to copyright strike myself because I'm Trekyards and Convergence, so that would be silly. What did I call it again? No, that's a preview version. There we go. So this is this is meta. This is for those that are still letting me ramble and such. There we go. That was easy. My face is not. I guess my face isn't that important, is it? I guess I'll let it play. Hello. Let's see your reactions. Wow, I'm not even finding the. There we go. Okay, so this is the Convergence.
The Siphons came to destroy the Federation. Colony after colony fell to their world killer. We couldn't stop them. Ships, fleets, Earth, all lost. Our one last chance, a slingshot around the sun. One big gamble. Although, is it a gamble when you've lost everything? We're the only chance the Federation has. Trillions of lives, and I will do anything it takes to save them. I owe it to them. It is my duty as a Starfleet officer. All I have left is my duty.
Yeah, there we go. Bit of self-promotion. Am I even ashamed to self-promote my own project? How could I be? Because did that look cool? Yeah, what do you guys think of that? Those that are still watching, and you can watch it on YouTube just fine. I'll reply the super chats while I wait for the thing to catch up. Dream Roulette here, $10 again makes it actually a big difference. Thank you so much. God, bonus super chat, Stuart. It's going so well. Do you think the Picard show is going to be made on the same alt reality license? It probably will, but I hope not. I think that the safest bet is for it to be a main license. They can do more with it. I mean, he exists in all three universes, but if they want to use the character properly, it should be the prime timeline. It depends. New boss, new contracts, new whatever. That is going to make all the difference. And a $5 as well. Thanks so much from Volatronic81. Thanks for all the work, Trekyards. Live long and prosper. Live long, prosper. You as well. I never did it on stream. I did it straight for you. Jamal Taylor. Thumbs up. Thank you. Bill. Cool. Thank you. Tim Theo. Gotta love a shameless self-promotion. I'm proud of having Renegades on board. That was a strong sell I did to get them. Really happy on that. Nerf. I imagine Samuel on Red Bull will be like the squirrel and over the hedge. I'm just great. Red Bull or no Red Bull. David, I'm short on funds this week. I wish I could. Hey, don't worry. You join the stream, you enjoy the fun. You join the stream, you join the fun. It's all good. We're going to do this every week anyway, so it does not make a difference. Any support is always appreciated, but just watching is enough. Good old gamer, that plot's been done before, though, literally in First Contact, among others. Yeah, but the plot is only part of it. It's about the characters, it's about the Siphons specifically, it's about how they react to the future, it's about, you see the story through the lens of the people. I mean, I never liked as much as I did a big baddie, but it helps the story be focused. But the baddies are, I guess, a means to an end for a story. They're obviously really important, but their actions are so clear that we know from Renegades, the original one, that it's not as much of a question. It's about the characters, it's about the deeper levels to it. And obviously, the fact, if you're saying, hey, that story's been done before in licensed Star Trek, official big budget, and if I can tell that story with very, very minimal budget in non-licensed Trek, then it's totally unofficial, totally fan-made, and you can appreciate and enjoy it in a, well, I saw it sort of before, but boy, I enjoyed that, then hey, good, I managed to make a good-looking piece of fan Trek. Yeah, that's cool. Is Walter Koenig in it? No. But he has a cameo mention, but that's just because Renegades universe. Oh wow, nice, thanks. I wonder how Moonves firing. Yep, keep the good work, very interesting streams. Thank you. Trekyards, you guys brought it back to the Star Trek. Thank you, Voltronic81. You are more than welcome. Glad to hear that. That's amazing. Bill, Samuel, it was fun seeing you with your Captain Cocking's dad. It's the ambassador. Literally 1 minute before we went live, he insisted on being a captain. No, thank you. Yeah, it was a fun stream. Wish more people turned up, but we need to work out when more people can be around, obviously, is a thing. Trekyards, thanks. And Jason, I love Samuel C. Joe work. Thank you. Long road getting from here to there to here to everywhere. Thanks so much, guys. I bet this is a message from Stuart saying, get the hell off. Yeah, anyway, guys, I think that is it. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in for this long stream and this bonus extra stream. Hope you had fun. I had fun, certainly. Great conversation with Stuart. Thank you for all the super chats. It makes a big difference. That $50, I mean, $50 in a stream suddenly makes the stream like, wow, this was a damn good day, because we don't earn very much on a normal day. So that is absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, and we will see you all next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the today episode, which was, should we have won the battle of Sector 001? That's a fun episode. With Law Reloaded. Please go check that out. It's a lot of fun, doing great view-wise, so please go check it out. Really fun conversation, definitely, like I said, definitely worth it. Certainly. And then Sunday, there's not going to be a video. Monday, obviously not. Tuesday, you got Trekyards. I won't say what it is because, spoilers. And then more stuff to come. And, oh my gosh, we have one more super chat to win the day. Elf Crystal. I guess it's New Zealand dollars, 35. Thank you. You win the super chat. There you go. Have a wonderful time, everyone. All the best, and see you on Wednesday for another super chat, super stream, live thing, and Tuesday for another video. Until then, guys, I am Commander Cockings, and he was Captain Foley. He was that way, wasn't he? Nope, that way. I'm flipped.